what you think about when you're born into a fire. Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. Listen up now, because we're never dropping out. Beat the odds, beat the big house. Our brains are bigger than the doubt. We've been thinking for ourselves, never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves, we won't let the world burn away, burn away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway.
Good evening, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, and anyone else of any variety. Welcome on in. It's Friday, and it's time for us to be jumping on to some more.
The Kenjineer! Oh my god!
Kenjineer, yes.
Kenjineer.
Thank you very much, Tom. That always gives me a chuckle to hear that. But yeah, we are back onto the home brewery here, as voted for over on the Sporty Lounge. We're getting on with well, continuing the development of this wonderful and increasingly large document of turning the Warframes into D&D monsters. If you missed the other ones, they are up on the extras channel, so exclamation replays if you do need to see the ones that you have missed there. But welcome on in, one and all. Actually, you know what? I put the rock on to start, but I've actually changed my mind. I want something else on the background. I want something else on in the background. There we are. That's better. Alrighty then. So, yes indeed, if those of you missed as well from last time, or just can't remember, we're up onto the Vault Master. The Master has been completed, so we need to do the fourth and final of the Vault Frames, which would be Vault Prime, and then popping on to one of the others. Did it sound like the alert doubled up to anyone else? Ah, yes, right, good, thank you, yes, you reminded me. There we go. Now that won't happen again. Yes, I was, again, doing some bits and pieces, like the last time this happened, doing some bits and pieces with some audio, and forgot to fix the settings back, but I've just fixed that. Sorry about that, Zom. But thank you for letting me know. I can't hear exactly what's being sent to the stream, because otherwise I'd go insane. So yeah, thank you. And Dark Maiden, cheers. Appreciate it. Also, hello there, Cosmo. Hello, Ladybug. How are you both doing? You got 2 for 1, I suppose, in a way. Yeah, you did get 2 for 1. You did indeed. That is a thing, I suppose. Anywho, let's get a cracking, shall we now? As I said, we've got the Vault Master all done. I'm going to need to do the next one, which will, of course, be a Vault Prime. So let's create a new page. Pop us a nice new blank page here. I'm going to copy the Vault Master stats to get us started. Let's just grab all of that there. and pop that to here. I don't know why GeForce decided to pop up there and then, but it did. That's a thing. 3 weeks in a row? 3 weeks in a row? Yeah, Tommy Top. Over on the Sports Tea Lounge, they keep on overwhelmingly voting for it. Let me just have a look at the vote there. Let me just bring up that vote real quick on this week's. So the options I made available were Apex Legends with the new map and new legend, Stardew Valley to continue the forest farm, and continue, because that got voted a few times, for some Team Fortress 2 with PvP, No Man's Sky, a new save, that was a new item added to the list for this week, this, what we're doing here, D&D, or Rocket League, which would go into Rumble. Supposedly, apparently I'm a Diamond tier Rumble player. I don't believe that considering how little I play Rocket League, but I did my placement matches to make sure I could put the option on, and it put me in Diamond, so go figure. The votes as it came down were 4 for Apex Legends, 3 for Stardew Valley, 3 for Team Fortress 2, 5 for No Man's Sky, none for Rocket League, and 11 for this here today. 11 for the D&D Warframes. So that's kind of a stonking big win right there. That's kind of a stonking big win. But you say, what is this? One look, my head hurts. All the text to see. So on the left-hand side, it's the Cody bit to make it happen. So you don't need to worry about that too much. The right-hand side is the D&D supplement. So we've got the introduction to what Warframes are when put into a D&D setting, so that the DM can just drop them in. Even if they don't know Warframe the game, they could still use this supplement. And then we have got information and stat blocks for various monsters, which are designed after the Warframes themselves. So if I take, for example, a Mag Master here, Mag has Pull, Magnetize, and Polarize, on top of the ability to bullet jump, and to use their sword and longbow for attacking. And this is basically a codified version of how that works. So a DM, a Dungeon Master, can bring that enemy into a fight to fight against the players. That's how it would be. That's how it be. So the stuff on the left here is just the way that this website, this web app called Homebrewery, allows me to create these pages. And we've got a double Vault Master because actually this second Vault Master is about to become a Vault Prime. I'm making these as Initiates, Adepts, Masters, and Primes. So the Prime is the highest tier that these go up to. This is the most dangerous of all versions of that Warframe. And I've copied over the stuff straight from this one because it's going to involve a lot of the same, but tweaked up. And then I need to include the discharge ability. So let's do exactly that. First things first, we want to have a look as to my quick cheat sheet. A quick cheat sheet for stats. Challenge rating 18 is where I'm aiming for the starter frames at tier 4. And for Vault, I've said I want them to be fast but weak. As we can see with the Vault Master here, despite being challenge rating 13, the previous one was, had an armor class of only 16, so it's 2 points down. Sorry, no, it's 1 point down. And its hit points were 169, not the 195 here. So I'm going to do the same. 18 AC and around 240 hit points. That's my aim, to make this one a bit weaker than its challenge rating would suggest. That's the rough aim we're going for here. But the rest, well, we'll figure it out as we go, won't we? The speed at this point for the Vault Prime, I don't think I want to increase that beyond the 40. No, actually I do. It's challenge rating 18. It's supposed to be fast. Deal with it. 45 foot. Let's make it faster. Because we can. Alright then, and according to my other cheat sheet, the stats I need to give a total of +6 across the board. My suggestions I have for myself is that +1 on everything actually just works. So these stats here, +1 to everything. What I'm actually going to do, rather than take the dexterity up to 6 as well as the intelligence, I only want the one stat to go that high. What did I do with Mag? Mag I gave 1 +6 to. And likewise with Excalibur Prime, 1 +6. So I'm going to do the same. I'm going to keep that level for the starter frames in their primes, is that they only get 1 +6. And for Vault, I'm actually going to make that intelligence. Which means I need to give +2 somewhere else. I'll figure out exactly where in a moment. We'll go for the strength is now 18 for +4. Dexterity unchanged. Constitution, you know what, actually, yeah, that's... Now, Constitution still only +1. On top of what it was before. Still only 1 higher. I think, yeah, Wisdom I put on as a 15, so I'll put 18. This will be the one that goes up by +2. I think that'll be a good spot to do it there. Give him more on the wisdom. Looks like say, see everything as done half impressed above any expectations. I mean, well, welcome to Kengineer content, I suppose. What does intelligence do? So intelligence is the ability, more broadly speaking, it's the ability to analyze and understand. So to process what you see, what you hear, what you smell, all that lot, and actually figure out what that means. So someone who is using their intelligence might see some runes on the side of a wall and identify what those runes are, or they might use their history skill, or use just their general ability within history to identify a township. Say, ah yes, I've learned about this area, this is such and such town, the mayor is such and such. Now in the case of a monster, they're not using their intelligence for that so much. Intelligence for them is more also breaking through illusions. So because they can analyze the world, they can see the bits and pieces that come together and go, hang on, that's not right, that's an illusion. And they can beat illusions that way through their intelligence. Lower intelligence, harder to understand and therefore get past illusions. And likewise, all the Warframes are using intelligence for their spell casting. So the higher the intelligence is of Vault, the nastier Vault's spells are. The higher the DC is, so the higher the challenge to beat his spells, and the harder those spells hit. That kind of thing. So intelligence has a lot going for it. It's why it's one of the core 6 core stats. And in the case of the monsters, that's pretty much the big one there, is absolutely slamming home the spell casting and beating any illusions the players might try to bring. Checking saves, did I do those correctly? Yeah, Vault Master was completed last time, I do remember. So, I've got the stats across the board there. That's now +4, +5, that's +9, 10, 11, 12, 18, 22. Just check my document. Yeah, I wanted 22 as a total. That's good. So I'm saying, I feel like Titania won't be too hard to adjust from a character perspective. What adventure worth their salt hasn't learned Fae asshats? Yeah, the Fae can absolutely be asshats. I mean, the Fae can be great, and the Fae can be horrible. The main thing is that the Fae are usually chaotic. That's the biggest defining factor of all Fae, is that they are, generally speaking, chaotic. They are unbound by rules and expectations. That's the big thing with the Fae. Okie dokie, so I want to go through now the ancillary stats that we've got here. Saving throws, we've got strength and constitution added on. Given that I'm putting intelligence up to the 22 mark, we might as well go for the int. Let's give it an int save of, well, whatever it'll become now. That challenge, sorry, that proficiency bonus is, I need to set a table up for this. Rather than the calculator, let me just check. Proficiency is +6 at this level. Okay. The proficiency +6 and intelligence +6, the intelligence saving throw is going to be +12, which is a little bit bonkers. Just a little bit bonkers. Constitution, now it's +3, +6 is +9. And the strength +4, +6 is +10. Those are some pretty beefy saves right there. The dexterity is wide open. The wisdom is wide open. The charisma is absolutely wide open. So Vault Prime does have weaknesses, but these three are not his weaknesses. Skills, acrobatics is going to be a +11 now. Arcana is +12. Athletics will be a +10. Perception will be a... we bumped that up quite a bit, so that's going to be a +10. What other stats should we add on then, chat? What other skill should Vault Prime have? We've got acrobatics, arcana, athletics, perception. What do we think should be their 5th and final skill they're adding on, in terms of what they have a bonus to checks with? That's to be something sensible for it. We've already got a dex skill, we've got an intelligence skill, we've got a strength skill, we've got a wisdom skill, so it's actually pretty balanced in that regard in terms of skills. So what I could go for is investigation to follow up on the high intelligence. So he's got then both perception and investigation to really ramp up the discovery side of things. Almost as if Vault's brain is running on overtime because, well, Vault's running on overtime always. Yeah, I feel like investigation might be a good pickup here. Investigation, which would be a +12, of course. Intelligence plus proficiency. Passive perception is now plus 20. Jesus Christ. Not plus 20, just 20. Challenge rating 18. The XP for that I think is 20,000. Yes, it is. Good, good. Just keep checking my own work. It's fine. Bullet jump. Now for the primes, I say they do triple. So once per turn, Vault may turn and jump into a bullet jump. Jumping is if you had a run up and able to cover 3 times. Good, 3 times the distance. So that vertical is going to be. The normal vertical is your modifier plus 3, so that's 7. Triple that is 21. Just think for a moment. You see a humanoid with no run-up whatsoever. They just jump upwards 21 feet off the ground. No support, no pole, no magic. They just jump 21 feet straight up. If you feel you might be outclassed in fighting this person, you are probably right, because this is challenge rating 18. That's the level where you start, you know, swinging your fists at demigods. So yeah, that is a reasonable jump to have. The horizontal, which is going to be at normal, it's just this value here, 18 feet. Triple that, 18 tripled is what, 54? I think it's 54, yeah. That's a 54 for horizontal. To get full use out of that, Vault would need to have a higher speed stat than 45, but Vault can get a higher speed stat than 45, so that's fine. We'll just leave that as is. Static charge I will come back to, because I want to get a better idea as to where the rest of the attacks land before I decide on that one. Shock spell, 1 action. Vault hurls an electric orb at a creature or surface within 120 feet. Creatures hostile to Vault within 15 feet of the target must make a dexterity saving throw. On a failed save, the creature takes 55, which is 10d10 lightning damage, and its speed is reduced to 0, stunning it. Just stunning the speed, but still stunning. On a successful save, the creature takes half damage, and its speed is unaffected. So the question is, how do I want to buff that damage up? Hello, Andrew. How you doing? Already with the master, we had it 2 per short rest, so I'm going to stick with 2 per short rest. I would like to buff up the damage though, so let's again look at the cheat sheet. Look at the cheat sheet here. So challenge rating 13 had a 65 aim. We went for 55 on the damage. So now we're at 18. 90 damage is the aim, so I'm going to aim for a bit below that. I'm going to aim for a bit below that. And let's go with... If I went with, say, 16 d10, that would add on another 33, bring us to 88. Just below that. I think that's good. Yeah, 16 d10. 16 d10, 88. A whole whacking big jump up on that one there. This creature takes 88 lightning damage. And then all the rest stays the same. Because this is an improved spell, I'm going to say that the level has gone up on that one as well. From 5th level, let's say that's actually a 7th level? Because that's quite a jump in damage. Yeah, I'm going to say that is actually a 7th level shock now. And that is for counterspell purposes. If someone is trying to counterspell it, they're now counterspelling a much higher level spell. And likewise, any other interactions, like things that can block up to a certain level of spell, well, because it's now 7th level, it needs to block that much higher to block shock. So that's cool. Speed spell, 1 bonus action. Speed was already a 2 per short rest as well, so that is fine. Vault energizes itself and allies within 30 feet. You know what? I don't think I need to make any changes to speed. I can just leave that as is. Yeah, I can just leave speed at that level. Don't need to make any changes on that one. Electric Shield, spell 1 action concentration. Vault manifests a shimmering transparent veil. We got the sizes. Don't want to change the sizes. That's very on brand for Vault Shield, so I'll leave it as the size that it has. But instead, attacks made by Vault and its allies which pass through the shield deal an additional previously 10 lightning damage on hit. For the meantime, let's provision that at 15. Let's jump it up by a whole 50% and see what happens on that one. We'll see how the math works out on that, but I think jumping up to 15 because we're going from a target of around 65 damage, or maybe higher, to around 90 damage. So we are going up about 50%. That seems okay to me. That seems okay to me. We'll see how that works out in the end. Fair enough, Rainhoover. You got it. You got it muted. Hi, Rainhoover. Vault will indeed go for him. Yes, absolutely, Area. Okay. So don't need to make any other changes to that. The electric shield, now that it's higher level, I'm going to bump that up to 8th level. Still to keep it to 1 per short rest, but that's because we're going to have a new spell added in just a moment. And that new spell, we're going to pop in right here. And that is Discharge. This is going to be a spell. It's going to be 1 action to cast it. There's no concentration needed. This one just kind of happens. Vault unleashes a catastrophic, just to give an idea as to how big this is, catastrophic wave of electrical energy. How would we describe that? So I wanted to describe it as kind of enveloping nearby enemies and discharging nearby. So yeah, just enveloping nearby enemies. Enveloping, there we are. Enveloping nearby enemies. No, I've done this before. I've said not nearby. I say enveloping enemies within, and then the range. Let's see, for discharge. I mean, this is meant to be his ultimate ability. This is the one where he just kind of goes slam and gets everyone screaming in fear at that point. So enveloping enemies within... what do they do? Pop up. Yeah. Enveloping enemies within, let's say, 50 feet. Let's say within 50 feet. Because I don't quite want to go to 60 feet. Because there's a lot of stuff that plays off of 60 foot. And if I give this just slightly less range... Why am I on a notification now? If I give this just slightly less range... That could be interesting. I thought I disabled notifications whilst I'm streaming. What's going on with this? I'm just going to check my settings real quickly, because clearly something's gone wrong with the whole "do not notify me while I am streaming" setting. Stream mode, disable all notifications. Was turned off for some reason. Well, that's fixed now. There we go. Right then, back to where we were. Discharge should not be usable when grappled. A grapple just stops you from moving. It just sets your speed to 0. Discharge doesn't stop you from casting... grappling doesn't stop you from casting any other spell in the game ever. As far as I'm aware, there is no spell that players have access to, let alone monsters, where if your speed is 0, you can't cast it. So, grappling doesn't do anything. If you are restrained, that might be something else. But even then, we'll look at its spellcasting. We don't want to perfectly replicate the animations of how Warframes cast spells. Because if we try to replicate one game in another perfectly, it doesn't work. Instead, what we're trying to capture is the general mechanical feeling. And then the rest of D&D's gameplay can come into effect around that. So yeah, discharge, enveloping enemies within 50 feet, aiming to have it just slightly below that 60-foot limit. That's what your brain were doing? It's a common thing. Anyone who tries to convert one thing to another, if you're not careful and try to be too close to the source material, you actually hamstring your ability to make it meet the new environment. So it's like how I've not gone for an energy-based system. Instead, I'm sticking to the X per short rest levels way of doing things, and I'm giving them spell levels rather than trying to figure out strength stats, duration stats. I'm not giving any of that customization that we're used to in Warframe. I'm not creating shield hit points. It's all just health. Mag can generate temporary hit points, but even then that's over shields, not shields, and so on and so forth. I'm cutting out a lot of the stuff that would exist within Warframe because a video game can handle that stuff, tabletop can't. And likewise, I'm introducing things which are not part of Warframe to allow it to fit into D&D. for example, the concentration that we have on the electric shield here. In Warframe, if you take damage, okay, you took damage. You still have your electric shield wherever you put it. Here in D&D, if you take damage, you can lose the shield entirely. Because it's a mechanical choice to allow players to interact against the enemy. So those kinds of things you really need to keep in mind when converting from one thing to another, is making sure you are meeting the new game, not just where you came from. This is a common thing in switching between books and films. You'll notice how good films that are adaptations of books will take the majority of the book. They will bring in the heart and soul of the book, but they'll cut out ancillary details which don't fit on screen, because otherwise a movie will be 4 hours long. Bad adaptations cut out too much, or just try reinventing things, or worse still, try to keep every last little detail even though it doesn't really work on screen. So it's that kind of adaptation we're doing here. We're changing from one genre to another. They're both games, but they're completely different genres, and a lot of changes in the process to make that work. Alright, so discharge vault, we got the range. Enveloping enemies within 50 feet. Each affected target must make a... Now, what are we going to go for discharge? Dexterity doesn't feel right here to me. Dexterity doesn't feel like the kind of thing to evade this enveloping energy. No, I need to think more about how the spell's going to work first. Let's think more about the spell before I think about the save. So, in Warframe, Vault sends out this wave of energy. He doesn't need to target it. It's not like Shock where you do target a group of enemies. It's just a wave of energy. The enemies start shocking those which are near to them, and then they also start damaging themselves after a delay. And I do want to see if I can incorporate that delay. Partly because it allows for counterplay, and partly because it ramps up the level of the spell over time. So it kind of makes the fight become more dangerous. So, what I'm thinking then is that, yeah, if we go with the Constitution save, because it is, yeah, it's resisting muscle spasms, it's the ability to make it through. So, we go with Con save. On a fail, their speed is reduced to 0, and yeah, speed is reduced to 0. No. Let's stop that. No, we get to on saves later. Lightning arcs from each. Yeah, lightning arcs around each affected enemy. Creatures within 20 feet... I'll say, yeah, 20 feet of an energized enemy, or however I want to phrase that. So creatures within radius, a smaller radius of those affected enemies, make a dex save to avoid the arcs of lightning. And then... those creatures which are affected and causing the lightning to come off them, they need to make a Constitution saving throw. On a failure, their speed is reduced to 0. At the start of their turn... at the end of their turn, they can repeat this saving throw. On a success, the effect on them ends. On a failure... they take the damage again, and the electric arcs happen again from them. I think that works, because you got the damage initially, but doesn't affect the primary targets. It affects the radius, so if you're not grouped up, you avoid that initial damage. And then it's only if you fail a second time that then it starts hounding on the actual targets, which is similar to how Vault works. And this is that kind of trying to marry the source material with the gameplay of the new game. Strafe could reduce the duration of spasms. No, I don't think bringing in another save at that point would be a good idea. No. The strength is brute strength of doing this to something else, or resisting being physically shoved around. Spasms in your muscles, that is constitution, straight up. That is constitution. Let me try writing this out, see what we get here. Enveloping enemies within 50 feet. Each affected target emits arcs of lightning. No, arcs of electricity gives its lightning damage. Arcs of electricity. Electricity. Come on, Ken. Striking. Striking creatures hostile to Vault within 20 feet of each target. No. Of them. Yeah, so each affected target emits arcs of electricity striking at creatures hostile to Vault within 20 feet of them. Okay. Yes, Chernobog, yeah. So if players are too grouped up, that's part of the idea here, is, again, working with that grouping effect, or grouping punishment, which Discharge already has in Warframe. If they are too close together, they are looking at multiple strikes happening. So this is forcing them to either you know it ahead of time, or if you just come all clustered up, Vault's going to go, ha ha, you morons, zap. This is supposed to punish players that do not research their target. And if you are up against a challenge rating 18 monster, you should be doing a bit of research. You absolutely should. The murder hobo party that just goes bumbling in like, oh, we got a paladin, we'll be safe. Get fucked, frankly. So yeah, each affected target emits arcs of electricity, strike at creatures hostile to Vault within 20 feet of them. No. No, it's too cumbersome. I'm putting too much mechanics in with the wording here. Let's remove that. Each affected target emits arcs. Yeah, emits arcs of electricity. You know, I might... It's trying to word this because I don't want Vault to be able to hit himself or his allies. Each affected target emits arcs of electricity. Every creature not allied to Vault? I might as well just put hostile. Each creature hostile to Vault within 20 foot of... Oops, that should be there. 20 foot of an initial target. There, if I go with initial target, yeah. Every creature hostile to Vault within 20 feet of an initial target must make a dexterity. Oops. Dexterity. There we go. No, still didn't get there. Dexterity. There we are. Saving throw. And the DC is... We'll figure that out. So yeah, every creature hostile to Vault within 20 feet of an initial target must make a dexterity saving throw. On a failed save, they take... So, now this is a one-off, super big ability, but it's going to hit over multiple turns if they do it right. So, again, I kind of want to keep the damage around about that 90 mark. Because based on the guidance here, limited use multi-target attack to deal 2 times, but this is going to hit multiple times, so I want to shrink that down. So around that 90 mark, and in fact, I'm thinking just like Shock, if I just go with that 16d10, that's probably a good spot to have this. On a failed save, they take 88, which is 16d10 lightning damage, or half as much on a successful save. A creature can be hit multiple times by this if they are in range of multiple initial targets. Just to make that very clear as well. Because I know some spells don't work that way, like Meteor Swarm. You can't be hit by more than one meteor, which is kind of weird, but that's how it works. Okay. We've got that to there so far. Then... Oh, no. After this... No, just then. Then, each initial target must make a Constitution saving throw. DC, we'll figure that out in a second. On a failed save, their speed is reduced to 0. Sorry. Yeah, their speed is reduced to 0. No. Yeah, their speed is reduced to 0. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Rainover. Cheers. On a failed save, their speed is reduced to 0. At the end of a...
16
At
months.
the end of
Is
initial...
there plans to give the elemental frames resistances based on their respective element?
Yo, Quintus, 16 months! Now that is a while, and ladies and gentlemen, in case you're missing, that is a tier 3 sub right there as well. Quintus, thank you very, very much, I do appreciate that. Huh? Absolutely. Is there plans, or are there plans to give the elemental frames resistances based on the respective element? No. Again, I'm trying to keep this as where I can closer to the source material, i.e. to Warframe itself, while still meeting the actual design of D&D. In part of that, resistances, yeah, they're an option. However, the Warframes don't have those elemental resistances in game. There are some ways of getting elemental resistances. I can save those for those other frames, but Volt doesn't have any kind of electrical resistance. He is a glass cannon. He deals the damage, doesn't block incoming electrical damage. So I'm not going to be doing that, no. Just trying to keep it slightly more in keeping with the source material. Where it meets the rule set of D&D, I'll do it. Where it doesn't meet the rule set, then yeah. You thought you did? No. Volt doesn't have resistance to electricity. Mag doesn't have resistance to magnetic. Ember not to fire. Frost not to cold. None of them. None of them. Alright then, so at the end of an initial target's turn... wait, no. On a failed save, their speed is reduced to 0. An affected creature may the speed is reduced to 0 and cannot be increased. Let's go with that. Affected creature may reattempt this save. Must reattempt this save at the end of their next turn. On a success, the effect ends. On a failure, their speed remains 0, and their speed remains 0, They take, they don't get to halve this one, they fail to save, so that's good enough. So they take the 88, i.e. 16d10 lightning damage, and all creatures hostile to Vault, capitalize, Vault, within 20 foot of this initial target must make a dexterity saving throw. DC, yes. Taking 88, 16d10 lightning damage on a failed save, or half as much on a successful one. Jason is saying, just for consistency with other D&D formatting, might want to do the if fail part first. Most save blocks specify the full effect, then reduce effect after. You're right, yes. Effects. I mean, I split it up there because the on success is just a clear end. On failure, it leads on to all this extra stuff. But you're right, yeah. An affected creature must reattempt the save at the end of the next turn. On a failed save, their speed remains 0, they take this amount of damage, and all creatures hostile to Vault within 20 foot of this initial target must make a dexterity saving throw, taking X damage on a failed save or half as much on a successful one. If the initial target succeeds on their Constitution saving throw, the spell effect ends on them. Yeah, just the spell effect ends on them. If we say this lasts for 1 minute, if I just put 1 minute duration in there, this will just keep happening for up to 10 turns then. That should work. I'll reread that in just a second there. Hello Gorilla, it's going well, we're making our way through all the bits and pieces here. Hello Chocodika, got a little late from Equinox photo session. Fair do, fair. Alright, we'll catch you later then, Raynuva. Hello Maximage, it's going well, thank you. Alrighty. Alright, so let's reread this spell, make sure it makes sense. It is meant to be a bit complicated because it is a prime, it's challenge rating 18, it's way up there, so it's allowed to be complicated. It's a spell, its cast time is 1 action, it lasts for 1 minute. Vault unleashes a catastrophic wave of electrical energy, enveloping enemies within 50 feet. Each affected target emits arcs of electricity. Every... should I name them here as initial target? Each affected target... Should I call... No, we'll leave that there. Each affected target emits arcs of electricity. Every creature hostile to Vault within 20 feet of an initial target must make a dexterity saving throw, DC will figure it. On a failed save, they take this damage, or half as much on a successful save. A creature can be hit multiple times by this if they are in range of multiple initial targets. Then, each initial target must make a Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, their speed is reduced to 0 and cannot be increased. There's no pass condition because pass, just that doesn't happen. Well, I should say no. On a successful save, the spell ends. The spell effect ends on them, because that's just that. An affected creature must reattempt the save at the end of their next turn. On a failed save, their speed remains 0. They take damage, and all creatures hostile to Vault within 20 feet of this initial target must make a further dexterity saving throw, taking this damage on a failed save, or half as much on a successful one. Successful save, not one, successful save. If the initial target succeeds on their Constitution saving throw, the spell effect ends on them. Alright, cool. Yeah, that should be good. And yeah, it's meant to be like, if you are all grouped up and you just come up against Vault Prime, like, yep, we're all just stood right next to each other, we're all buddy-buddy, we're all within 20 feet. Vault just goes, oh, you chose death then? And it's only got a range of 50 feet, so you've still got planning and preparation time. It's not like the range on Shock here, which is 120 feet. Vault needs to get into range to use this and then uses it. So I'm not giving it an absurd range. I'm not making this the most devastating effect ever. He still has to get close in to do this, which is kind of counter to his whole flanking approach. But if everyone tries to dogpile onto him at once, the melee users are going to find out that was a bit of a mistake, as he then just goes kazap. But also, the melee users tend to be the ones with high constitution, so they're more likely to survive this anyway. So it's a bit of mechanic fighter, mechanic fighter, mechanic fighter, mechanic. If you're grouped up, problem. But Vault needs to get to the group first, but if the group comes to him, then it's a problem. But then your constitution is usually high if you're getting close in the first place, so it's less of a problem again. Bap, 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 bap. So that's the way it kind of triple counters itself, reversing multiple times. Moves and counter moves. Quite excited for Val Kitty's grappling hook? Oh yes, there's going to be plenty of fun to be had with that, absolutely. But yeah, I think, just looking over the details of the spell there for Discharge, I think that covers Vault Prime pretty nicely in terms of that spell. This is a 1 per short rest as well, just single use, just like Electric Shield. So, Discharge, and this is most definitely a 9th level. Because just to remind myself here, Meteor Swarm 5e, how much damage does that do? Meteor Swarm, oh okay, yeah, fair enough. A creature takes 20d6 fire damage and 20d6 bludgeoning on a failed save. So that averages out to 140 damage on a failed save. And this one's averaging to only 88. But it will hit multiple times potentially. That's where it gets absolutely bonkers. And also it slows you down. But it doesn't have a range of a mile. So yeah, it's not the most devastating 9th level spell, but it feels to me like it is definitely onto a 9th level. Oh, I got something in my eye again. This always happens. There we are. I think that's not... No, I didn't get it. Ah, so much sleep in my eye. I wipe and wipe and wipe, and there's still more sleep. Right then, anyway. So, that adds on the spell. We want to fix all the DCs now. Next spell casting DC is not 18. It's going to be 8 plus 6 plus 6. That's 20? No. 8 plus 8... No, 8 plus 6 plus 6. 66, 12. Yeah, it's 20. It is 20. Yikes. DC 20 saving throw on this. DC 20! Granted, it's a constitution save. If you don't have at least 0 in your constitution, you are going to die. But DC 20! And then the attacks coming out are from DC 20 dex saves. Again, if you have 0 dex, you're probably dead before you get to level 18, but crikey. DC 20, so let's see, so static discharge, sorry, not static charge, we'll figure that out. Shock, DC 18 becomes 20, and then deals the damage. Speed is just speed, electric shield is just electric shield, so it doesn't actually use DCs. So yeah, buffing the intelligence hasn't done all that much, but this still goes up. DC 20, DC 20, where's the other save? There it is. DC 20. Alright, cool. Vault Prime is not quite allowed to ESO nuke in this. Not quite. No. Not quite. 880 max damage per target, Andrew. Per target. Because if you've got, say, a party of 4 players that stand next to each other, the initial discharge alone, all 3 players next to each one, so each person 3 times over is going to get shocked by a DC 20 dex save for 88 damage. This is murder! This might be too much. I don't care. I might need to reduce it down from 20 feet to 15. It might need to be 15. So yeah, within 15 feet. Just to bring it in the range just a little bit. Jason, we're talking about Warframe. Of course I'm laughing. Hello, Caracop. We're doing well. We're doing well. How much health should an average player have by this level? Well, to give you an indication, let's go for a typical class, a D8 class. They're on the slightly weaker end of things, but we're not looking at fighters with a D10 or barbarians with a D12. We'll look at D8. For a challenge rating 18, that's a medium encounter for level 18s. At level 18, a D8 class will have 8 from first level, and then they'll have, if you're just taking the flat amount per level, which you should do, they'll have 17 levels of 5, and then add on their constitution. By this level, let's say you have a +2 to constitution, so that would be 36 from constitution. They will have 129 hit points. So a D8 class, which is your kind of middle of the road class, will have around about 129 hit points by this point in time. This is a lot of damage. This is a lot of damage. But if they're not grouped up, then they take no damage. They need to make a constitution saving throw. If they fail that, their speed is 0. And then, at the end of their turn, they make another constitution saving throw, and only then, if they fail that, do they start to take any damage. And yeah, as Jason says, at this stage they're very likely sporting resistance boosting magic items, some decent stats, possibly prepared protection spells. So yeah, while it's lethal, it's not unavoidably so. Exactly, yeah. Like, for example, you can cast the spell Absorb Elements, give you resistance. I think it's resistance, let me check. Absorb Elements. Absorb Elements 5e. Absorb Elements. Yeah, it's a first level spell. It's a reaction to when you're taking this damage. So you don't even have to prepare this, you just go, oh shit. The spell captures some of the incoming energy, so you have resistance to the triggering damage type until the start of your next turn. So you just resist half the damage. That 88 is now 44. And also, the next time you hit with a melee attack, the target takes an extra amount of damage based on the type. But the main thing is the reaction. You would have taken 88 damage, you cast that, you now take 44. That's a huge chunk off it right there. And that's because someone who's messing it up. First level spell halves the damage of a 9th level one. That's a big deal. You've also then got stuff like Counterspell, which can just straight up say, haha, you tried Vault, but no. And absolutely, this is designed where the players can 100% Counterspell it. Absolutely, they can try and do that. Yeah, don't worry about max damage. 10 to 15 HP, that sounds like level 2. That sounds like level 2 right there, because a level 1 character, if they're D8 class, will have 8 hit points plus their constitution modifier. And typically for a level 1 class, you'll have anywhere between 0 to 3 constitution. Most people that aren't focused on constitution will just have +1 in it. So you have 9 hit points as a typical level 1. Typical level 1. Wizards can be quite low. Barbarians can be quite high in comparison, but if you say 9 is a ballpark, then if you're having 10 to 15, that means then you're probably level 2. That same class that had 9 before would be on 15 at that point. Whereas a wizard with no constitution bonus, just a flat 0, there'd be 6 at level 1 and 10 at level 2. But yeah, level 18 is well above that. And you've got to remember the player's going to have 18 levels of powers themselves. Like, they're going to have 9th level spells themselves. The wizard could wish something horrible for Vault very easily. And with his low charisma and no charisma save, they could just banish him. Like, oh, he's gone now. What is he going to do? Vault comes back an hour later like, you bitch. So, it is a lot of damage, but if you know what's coming, you'll survive. If you don't know what's coming, then that's what you get for trying to face off against something on the tier of demigods. Don't do that. Study it first. Okay, let's see then. Multi-tack, let's let all your bits and pieces down here. Previously we had Vault makes 3 attacks with quarterstaff for its short bow. That's fine. Let's just up the stats first. The quarterstaff uses strength, so that's now plus 10 to hit. The reach plus 5, yep. The damage is now plus 4, so that means that the hit is now a 7. You request ADM a bit ago? Sorry, Addy. Yes, you did. 12 minutes ago. I do apologise. Let me put that on now. There we go. Let's pop that on there for you. Do apologise on that. Lady was saying, better hope you succeed on that history check than her. You do your studying. Don't just rely on walking into a fight and figuring it out. Study. Take the time. Make a campaign of it. If you just drop yourselves into a fight and expect to win, well, so does the other guy. Banish him to Limbo and he comes back with Limbo Toe. Yeah, can you imagine? You send Vault out to a different player because you're like, oh, he'll be gone for an hour now. Next round, he just reappears with a Limbo next to him. Just pats him on the shoulder like, don't worry, buddy. Happens to all of us. Have at him. And then Limbo casts Stasis. Yeah, that could get pretty crazy quick. Anyway, let's see. So quarterstaff plus 10 to hit, reach damage. Yep, that's all done. Longbow, that is now a plus 11 to hit. Only went up by 1. Still the same range. The damage is still the same, so no change there. Bonus actions can do that. Yep. Legendary actions, 1 attack with its longbow. Yeah, that's fine. Vault moves half its speed. That's fine. And speed, 2 actions. Vault casts a speed spell. That's fine. Yeah, I'm happy with all of those so far. So let's see where the damage comes out on this now. Turn 1. Let's assume that Vault casts Discharge, hits 2 enemies, so they're hitting each other. That's going to be 88 times 2, that is 176 damage. It's a lot of damage, but it's kind of what we're looking at there. Turn 2. Oh, and as a bonus action, longbow attack for a further 9 damage. Static charge, might have moved. So it could be actually 39 damage. So we're looking at like 200 damage on turn 1. Yikes. What are we considering half speed, given everything usually 6 to 5 increments? So Vault will be able to move 20 foot rather than 45. If Vault has used speed and therefore has dashed, well, the dash just gives you movement on your turn. So yeah, it would just be 20 foot. It would just be able to move 20 foot. There's not actually a bonus over the Vault Master, but it is a bonus in the rest of movement anyway. Said, DM study, do your research. Also, DM ambush his party with 2 vaults. If you ambush your party with 2 Vault Primes, I want to know what they did to hurt you. I really do. Zom, speed rounds down. You need enough speed to complete the move of the square you are moving into. Otherwise, you can't do it. So say if the next square is difficult terrain, you have 5 foot of movement, you can't move into it because you effectively have 2.5 movement through difficult terrain. Yeah, rounds down. Okay, so that first turn, it's devastating, but the discharge goes off. We can assume people get out of it one way or the other, so we don't need to keep worrying about that. Second turn, Vault uses shock. Again, hits 2 targets, so it's going to be 196, that's fine, but it's limited. We can do shock again. That's going to be a lot of damage. Now I think about it, that's going to be a lot of damage. That's going to be too much. Hold up. As much as these are limited use, we can keep using them. That's too much damage. That is too much. Right, I'm pulling this back. I am backtracking on shock getting buffed because Vault can do so much here. So I'm backtracking shock. Shock is going back down to a 5th level spell. With the DCs as well and having discharge, that would be too much. Alchemado is saying, I've made PCs based on Warframes, even reworked Shadow Monk features around Ash's abilities. Never thought of them as monsters. Yeah. The thing with PCs, I considered doing that first, but just trying to fit Warframes into classes, classes have so much more going on than your Warframe does. A Warframe has a passive and 4 abilities. Your typical player class has so much more than that. So either it would be a class that was Warframe themed, which I didn't really want to do, or I'd have to just kind of squidge stuff in. Instead, as monsters, I can have them fully be Warframes. Like, no question about it, these are Warframes. And then the players get to fight them using their own shiny toys. And the DM gets to use even more exotic stuff like Discharge, custom spells which only can be used by a Warframe. Hello Elio, how you doing? So, let's recheck on that then. So Discharge, absolutely devastatingly scary, but very counterable, even just by positioning. Then we got Shock, which is dangerous, but it's only 55 damage. It's potentially 2 targets, but you'd need to get them in range for that to work. I might increase the radius on that, actually. Yeah, you know what? Let's buff it up 1 spell level rather than 2. I'll increase the radius rather than the damage, so it's not as damaging, but it can hit more. So if I increase that from 15 feet to 25 feet, that's a much bigger radius, but it's still not overkill. It's just more likely to get an extra target at the same time. So that should work. And again, we're still keeping speed as a 5th level, still keeping Electric Shield wherever we got it. That's all good on that there. Electric Shield can add on that 15 damage, but it's an action to cast it. So it's got downsides to it. I expect this vault is most likely going to cast Electric Shield if things are going really badly. Whereas if things are going well, Discharge and then Shock. I can imagine, Komodo. I can imagine, yeah. Warframe PCs sounds like absolute hell to balance for all 50 of them. All 51 soon enough. But yes. Yeah, doing them as monsters. The other thing about doing them as monsters, and this is a very important thing about it, a very important thing about this is that they're designed... Shut up, phone. They're designed to be defeated. Player classes are designed to succeed. You're meant to win the majority of circumstances. If your players go into a 50-50 fight, half the time they lose, the game ends. That's pretty shit. For monsters, if they lose 85% of the time, the players are still losing 50%. 15, that is. Not 50, 15%. Which is still quite a bit. So we were able to design these monsters with significant weaknesses. We got holes in their defenses that players can punch through, so that the players can win. But they need to figure those holes out, or otherwise be glad that they have the hit point stats high enough. They have just enough time to figure out, wait, we're in trouble. Let's find a way to win. What was that? That was unimportant, whatever it was, because it's my personal email. Let me shut my phone up so don't do that again. How many monster frames have we done so far? That's a very good question. I need to wrap up on Vault here, and then that would be 12 of them. So I'm doing it as each Warframe comes in 4 tiers. We got the Excalibur Initiate, Adept, Master, and the Prime. And then same for Mag. And then the same for Vault. So that means that no matter what level your campaign is at, your DM, or you if you are the DM, will be able to drop these monsters in. Check out the Vault that's just challenge rating 3. Oh, he's fine. He's got 45 hit points, an armor class of only 13. Honestly, it's just his dexterity. He doesn't even have armor. Looking on the later ones, did I... I need to put natural armor on Vault Master. I need to put a natural armor on this. Forgot that tag. To explain why the armor is above 15, and then same here, natural armor. There we are. Nearly missed that bit. But yeah, so you got 13 IC, 45 hit points, passive perception of merely 10. It's fine. He can jump a bit, he can shock a bit, he can get a bit of bonus damage by running around. Oh poo, whatever. It's not the most scary thing, but he's still got this shock spell, which is enough to make you go, hang away, what just happened? And that's kind of the impact we're looking for there. So yeah, this is the 12th of them, and it's a doozy. It's a challenge rating 18, designed to absolutely smash things up, unless the players themselves are also on the level of absolutely smashing things up. So, let's do a recheck on all the details, make sure everything is in place. I haven't done the hit pointers yet, so let's figure that out now. We've got a D8 plus 3 from the Constitution, so that is an average of 7.5. I want around about 240. 240 divided by 7.5 is 32. There we go, that's our answer. So 32 D8 plus 32 times 3 is 96. There we are. Speed is fine, stats are fine, saving throws, yep, acrobatics and skills, yep. That's perception is correct, yep. That's all good. We've already changed the vertical and horizontal, so that's good. This I've not changed because it doesn't need to go up for this level. This vault is strong enough with just the addition of discharge and a little bit of speed, frankly. So static charge can stay where it is. We got the shock spell. I've increased the range on it, but not the damage. The DC has obviously gone up. Speed, left it where it is. Electric shield, added on more damage, but otherwise left it where it is. Discharge, whole new thing. Yeah. We're saying download command says to download currently released D&D Warframes in Discord, but don't see where exactly I find it. Could be blind though. And when you see it, okay, you found it. I might make a separate channel for the D&D stuff, but later on. Would Vault gain some kind of resistance to lightning damage? Nope, because Vault in Warframe doesn't have that, so there's no point me adding it into this one here. Likewise, you'll notice that Ember in Warframe doesn't have such a bonus. Frost doesn't have it. None of them, actually. None of them. So I'm quite fine with this where it is. Vault still has the same can't hurt his allies with his attacks nature. So all of the stuff is only the things hostile to Vault gets attacked by shock, by discharge, that kind of thing. Yeah. Ember has 90% damage reduction? Yeah, but not to fire. Ember has 90% damage reduction. End. Keeping it by the book as much as I can. I'm translating Warframes into D&D monsters, and I want the Warframes to be recognizably the Warframes. If you play Warframe, when you come up against these monsters, you should have a good idea as to what you're up against. Unless your DM just says, it's a Warframe. Oh, sorry, your intelligence stat isn't high enough. You don't know which Warframe it is. You just know it's a Warframe. If we pop here, I've already given numbers on that, so if you succeed on a DC 15 intelligence check, you'll be able to identify it's a Warframe, recall the Warframe features in the box above, the generic Warframe features. You'd know they double jump, you know they bullet jump, you know they have spell casting based on intelligence, and you know they can command companions. But you'd need DC 20 to identify the specific Warframe. But you and me, we are very good at identifying Warframes because we played enough of Warframe. But for your character, the DM goes, yeah, you know it's a Warframe. It's quite clearly a Warframe. It is a weapon of war in humanoid shape. Which one is it? You don't know right now. Let's see what it attacks you with, shall we? Maybe that'll tell you. But at DC 20, you get to know which one it is, and you recall the spells and features it has, especially the saving throws it targets. So you'll know that a Vault Prime, once you identify it, that one has discharge. It'll target your dexterity and constitution. You go, aha! That's the stats we need to buff up, guys. Come on, let's get those buff spells going. And then DC 25 with proficiency required in the relevant skill, so not just anyone can hit that. Then you get to recall the strengths and weaknesses in Warframe's ability scores and saving throws, and you know exactly what level its abilities are cast at, which is crucial for counterspell users. So that's why that's included in there. That is a counterspell gift. Because counterspell is a big thing here. Warframes hate nullifiers. The counterspell wizard is a nullifier. And so the Warframe will try to kill you first. I'm going to say, oh come on, they're distinct enough in appearance so you'll be able to determine who they are. Okay. Okay. 1 second, let me just grab a picture real quick. 1 second whilst I remind myself where this is. Alright, what Warframe is that? You got 10 seconds. Actually, you got 5 seconds. It's about to attack you. Quickly, what Warframe is that? 3, 2, 1. Alright, it's off your screen now. What Warframe was that? You're wrong. You failed your intelligence check. Now you don't get to tell me you know which one it is that easily. That was Saren. Why that one? Because it's the picture I have, Ladybug. It's the first picture I have. Ready to go. One that doesn't look like what they are. That's Saren. Don't tell me you know what every Warframe looks like straight away that easily. It's DC 20 for a reason. And if you think I've pulled a big gotcha on you, tough. So does the Warframe. It wants to kill you. It's not going to make it easy. That was a Siren. Hope your party's full of dwarves. Yeah, Siren will mess a lot of people up once we get there. It's not fair that DE keeps giving them all fantastic ass. How do you get that picture? How do you get that picture? I think it's somewhere on the Discord. Probably in the memes channel? Maybe somewhere else, I don't know. It's somewhere on the Discord. Might be in support of D-Line, actually. Anyway, I think that wraps up on Vault Prime. It's been a bit of work trying to get it there, but I think that wraps up on it. Yeah. We got our damage, checked how hard it's going to hit through turns and whatnot. I am concerned about the Vault Master looking backwards, but it should be fine. It should be fine. Right, looks like you can tell. You can see a single alt skin in mission, no longer know anything. Yeah, alternative skins exist as well, canonically in Warframe, so of course, you know, just a quick glance at a Warframe is going to tell you what you're fighting. And again, from the perspective of people who aren't constantly coming up against these Warframes, you know? Whilst with dragons, you should be able to identify the difference between a red dragon, a green dragon, and a blue dragon. They should be pretty obvious. Try telling the difference between certain demons and devils. They're not quite so obvious. They don't just go by their colour. Need to capitalize Vault in the third sentence of discharge. Thank you. Let me find that. In the third sentence of discharge, I'm just going to look through for Vault. Vault unleashes... there it is. Thank you. That is fixed now. I appreciate little details like that. Really do. Right. Now, I've not done any suggested encounters for Vault. You know what? I'm going to leave those for now. I'm genuinely going to leave those for now because I want to be making more Warframes. Suggested encounters are cool and all, but I want to be making more Warframes. So looking at, since he was a previous starter framed prior to Vault, no, I get where you're going there, Jason, but I'm sticking the starters as just the starters, and now I'm going to go on to Ash. As I did say as much over on the supporter T-Lounge when they voted for this. Let me just grab a copy of the initiate for Vault. I can use it as a starting point. Just to make sure I have the build of how to make the page. There we are. And the opening blurb, how do I use that again? It goes double hash for the Ash. Got it. Double hash, Ash. Alright, so how do we want to describe this one? With the Vault description I went, the Vault Warframe is a master of electricity and speed. Vault spells have the ability to stun its enemies and block attacks with its electric shield. Getting close to Vault will be no easy task either. So, in a couple lines, Ash. Want to go alphabetical? I probably should Karakop from here out, just so they fit into the document nicely. So, Ash. How do we want to describe him in a couple lines? Master of Blades and Discretion. Discretion sounds a little bit too courteous. And that's the Master of Blades. That's... that feels more Excalibur. I get where you're going, but Blades generally, that's more Excalibur. Ash is the Assassin. Few people know if the Ash Warframe joined battle as it attacks from the shadows with mastery of stealth and assassination. I like where that's going, Jason. I like where that's going, yes. Few have ever knowingly encountered an Ash Warframe. When it joins a battle, it does so through smoke and shadow. Master of Assassination. Bypassing all defenses. Watch your back. It's behind. It's always behind you. There we go. I think as an introduction, that should work for Ashe. Few have ever knowingly encountered an Ashe Warframe. When it joins the battle, it does so through smoke and shadow, a master of assassination and bypassing all defenses. Watch your back. It's always behind you. I think that's a good, simple introduction to the Ashe frame, and that is exactly what it's going to do. Now with Ashe, I am going to be using more of the augments than I have with the other frames, because Ashe's base abilities are a little bit more bland. You've got Shuriken, which as a base thing, it's just little bits of slash, and that's it. Yeah, okay, that wasn't very interesting. And then you've got Ashe's teleport ability, which is, well, he teleported. Alright, cool. Now what? And I don't really want to make those as, like, bonus action spells or just kind of throwaway things. Certainly when the teleport, that's, what, third tier? Yeah, it's the third ability, so it's third tier. That needs to be devastating. So, right off the bat, I'm going to make Shuriken a problem. I'm going to make Shuriken a problem. You get hit by that, it doesn't go well for you. Your armor just falls apart because of seeking Shuriken. And if you are teleported on, well, stabby stabby. Absolutely. Ashe's ability to chain backstab is going to be very ouchy. Oh yeah, 4th ability, 9th level spell territory is just going to be death. Just death. He's also got straight up greater visibility. Well, once we got to the second tier, which is going to be roughly challenge rating 9, because I want to go for challenge rating 4 for frames which are non-starters, 4 or higher. Actually, do I want to go even higher with Ashe? We'll stop with 4 for now. Yeah, if it's stop with 4, but then I'll take a 6th level jump because of the invisibility. Yeah. That'll be alright. That'll be good. How much wouldn't it be permanent? I think I'll just make it last for a minute. Actually, in Warframe, Seeking Shuriken only lasts for a duration. I think it's a base duration of 8 seconds. So I could scale it off of that. I could make it until the end of Ashe's next turn. That could balance it. Yeah. 8-second base duration, so if I make it until the end of Ashe's next turn, that actually very nicely fits into how a round is 6 seconds in D&D. So that works. I'll take that. That's where we're working from. So, Ashe Initiation. Now, Ashe is another kind of glass cannon. So we get same kind of stats as with Vault here. Armor class and hit points are all low. Speed, however, needs to be lower. Because Ashe is not a quick frame. Ashe is just simply an assassin frame. With the stats across the board, we've got Strength, Dex, Con, Intuition, Char. I think with this one, I'm going to take the point away from Strength, so that's now a 0. Put that into the Wisdom instead for the Perception. For landing these things, yeah. Ashe is kind of bulky compared to other frames. Good HP and armor though. With the assassin idea. Let's bring this up. Ashe Warframe. So Ashe base stats, we got armor 100. That's not bulky. That is not bulky. Health 150, shields 100, armor 100. That is not bulky. Compared to Vault here, Vault has shields 150, health 100, but armor 100 again. Yeah, no, that's not bulky. That is absolutely not bulky. Sprint speed, however, wow. Canonically, sprint speed, Vault 1, Ashe 1.15. I didn't realise he was 15% faster than Vault. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Combine it to Rhino for actual bulk. I mean, we could go Rhino, we could go Atlas. Rhino default, health 100, shields 150, so actually more health than Rhino, but Rhino has armor 225. Atlas, health and shields both only 100, so again even lower, but armor 450. If we go with... Oh, so a bit more on the physical. Let's go Frost. Frost isn't stealthy, so what's Frost rocking? Armor 300. Even with the health of 100, armor 300, so yeah. In Aros Lavos, we know they are just way up there. We know they are crazy strong. I was trying to get something a bit more mid-ground, but yeah. So yeah. Sprint speed is a multiplier, Volt doesn't need to go faster. Yeah. The sprint speed is a sprint speed, but Volt then can buff it further. Alright. Jason say, I wonder if the Shuriken ability is going to auto-hit like Magic Missile, be an attack roll against the PC. Attack roll. I'm going to make it an attack roll. What I'm going to do, though, is give it a higher chance to hit. Am I? No, I'm keeping it normal. I'm going to keep it normal. We don't need to break the mathematics on it. We don't need to get the auto-homing in that we have in Warframe. If anything, the auto-homing in Warframe is more to account for the fact that aiming in Warframe is tough in the first place. You imagine trying to aim Shuriken if you didn't have auto-aim. That would suck. So no, I don't need to give it any kind of automatic hit like with Magic Missile. As much as I get the reference there, because I'm instead making it an armor stripping ability, that's the Devastator. We don't need to add on auto hit or enhanced hit either. It's the armor strip that's going to be most terrifying. Alright, so the bullet jump, let's fix all this. Let's fix these stats here. Arcana, nope, Stealth is the name of the game for this one. Stealth, and what were the other stat we want to give him off the bat? Stealth and Light of Hand. He's literally an assassin, so why not? Stealth is going to be a +5, and Sleight of Hand is going to be a +5. There we go. Passive Perception is 11. Challenge rating 4 for how much XP? Can someone check for me? Challenge rating 4, how much XP is that? Fishy bonus is +2. Yes, it is. Because challenge 5. 5 is when you get the prop bonus. Once per turn, Ash may turn a jump into a bullet jump. Jumping as if it had a run up. Coming twice the distance. Vertical is going to be a 6 foot, or horizontal only 20 foot. Not as much jump in this one. Do I know the ability Misty Step? I know the spell Misty Step. Remember, Initiate is very simplistic. Yeah, Initiate is simplistic. Passive, we don't need... I'm going to completely ignore Ash's passive. It doesn't exist. For the purposes of this, it doesn't exist. Jason, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Alright then, so we've got Shuriken. Spell, 1 action. Do I... action or bonus action? This should be a bonus action. Shuriken, right from the off, should absolutely be a bonus action. Ash sends out a pair of sundering shurikens. Gotta get that alliteration in there. Ash sends out a pair of sundering shurikens to devastate enemy armor. Ash chooses Ash targets 2 enemies it can see within... Let's start with a lower range, 45, and work it up from there. It's within 45 feet. Running say Ash passive feels like it should be limited to Prime. I'm just not going to include it because D&D 5e doesn't really use bleeds. There isn't a save ends damage like there is in 4th edition. Or you get in other systems where you constantly take damage until you succeed a save. I know I've included that for Vault's Discharge, but mostly it's not really a thing. So I'm not going to include it as a passive. Instead, if Ash has something which just does damage over time, I can just ramp up the damage more than the normal Warframe calculation. At the end of the day, that's all Ash's passive is a change to the calculation to make it last longer. I can just build that into any ability that cares about it. But most things don't use bleeds anyway. I could just ignore that. Crocop saying, doesn't Mirage have Sleight of Hand as an ability? If so, how that affects his skills? Good question. I might need to rename that ability. I might... yeah, I might rename that one to just Legerdemain, basing it off the augment. And I'll put that one in the notes about Mirage. That's a very good catch. We'll come to that one probably a few months from now, but yeah, we'll come to it. Alright, so Shuriken. Ash sends out a pair of Sundering Shurikens to devastate enemy armor. Ash targets two enemies. He can see within 45 feet. No. Ash makes a ranged attack. Ranged spell attack. I think he capitalized all that. I'm capitalizing it because it's keywords, so whatever. Ash makes a ranged spell attack against two enemies it can see within 45 feet. Against up to... No, against two enemies it can see within... no, Ash makes two ranged spell attacks against one... yeah, Ash makes two ranged spell attacks either against one enemy or split across two enemies. There we go. It can see within 45 feet. That allows you to prioritize or split, which is also what you can do with Shuriken. So, cheers. On hit, I should put the ranged spell attacks and the plus to hit on that will be intelligence plus proficiency plus 3. No, plus 4 to hit. Plus 4 to hit. There we are. On hit, the target takes. Let's keep this low. Let's keep this low. Let's use our damage guide. We're looking at challenge rating 4, and this is only a bonus, and it's got a load of rider on it as well, so I don't need to do a lot of damage here. So challenge rating 4, 2 targets, it's multi-hit, but it's limited use. I don't want to use too much of the budget here, so I'm just going to keep that at, say, 2d6 with 7 damage to each of them. Because that'll do a total 14 out of the budget. Yeah. On target takes 7 brackets 2d6 piercing damage. And if it is wearing armor, its AC is reduced. No. I don't need to say and if. I'm just going to say, and its AC is reduced to 10 plus 10 plus its dexterity modifier. So it doesn't matter if you are a barbarian with a bonus or a monk with a bonus or armored. It doesn't matter if you've got the mage armor spell. Your AC is reduced to 10 plus your dexterity modifier. If you are just unarmored, down and out, which is a bad thing for any adventurer to do, then hey, it doesn't hurt you any further. That's fine. Reduce to 10 plus its dexterity modifier for 1 minute. There we go. No, wait, I said until... No, not a minute. Until the end of Ash's next turn. Until the end of Ash's next turn. There we go. Yeah, I think that works, right? I think that works. Once per short rest, you have Shuriken, 2nd level, job done. The Ash's innate spellcasting ability is intelligence. Spell save DC is still 12. Spell attack bonus plus 4. They can innately cast the following spell: Shuriken, second level, blah blah blah. Normal actions. Let's see, now what weapons do we give Ash? I'm thinking Ash should have a dagger. In fact, Ash should just have daggers, right? Ash really should just have daggers. Both for melee and range, just daggers. Dagger and kunai? A kunai is a type of dagger. As far as D&D is concerned, a kunai is a type of dagger. So yeah, Ash makes 2 attacks with its dagger. I should say 2 ranged or melee. No. 2 attacks with its daggers. Each of which can be ranged or melee. So we just remove that line. Dagger. Oh, how do they put dagger into the books? How do they put dagger into the books when a monster is throwing it? I'm going to grab my book. Let me find one. There's got to be one in here that shows me how they write out this. Do they do them separately or the same? Does the assassin stat block have a dagger? No, of course it doesn't. It has a short sword. No, we want daggers. Ah, here we go. Archmage's dagger. Melee or ranged weapon attack, plus to hit, reach or range, 1 hit. There we go, that's fine. That's fine, I can write that. Because again, keeping it true to the style. So, melee or ranged weapon attack. There we go. That is a plus 4 to hit. Is it? No, it's not. It's a plus 5 to hit. Reach 5 foot or range 20, 60. 1 target. Hit is going to be... dagger's a plus 4, is it? Yeah, it's a plus 4. 1d4 plus 3. That's a average of 5 damage. Making 2 attacks there will be 10. Oh, it's piercing damage. 10 damage. Is that enough? I don't think that's enough. I don't know about you guys, but I don't think that's enough. Challenge rating 4. We're aiming for around 25 damage. Actually, even then, we'd want more than that, and our attack bonus isn't high enough. I'm going to need to buff them some stats here. Yeah, I'm definitely going to need to buff them some stats here for this to be more challenging, which makes sense, really. I'm going higher than Volt. Okay. Yeah, let's have a look at bringing it up a bit. I want the hit points up. I want the damage up. Or reduce the CR? No, I don't want the CR to come down. As much as I could reduce the CR, that's not a good result. I want it up. So I need to do more. I mean, I could just say those daggers deal more damage. That would help me to balance it. If I just give him passive ability, Ash deals more damage with daggers. Yeah, Dagger Master deals more damage with daggers. Later on I can turn that into deals more damage and at further range. That works. Dagger Mastery. Ash deals additional. I'll figure out how much in a second. Let's see. Aiming at challenge rate 5. About 30 damage per turn. Well, we're taking out the armor, but that's only once. So yeah, that's 14 across a fight. We need to get 90 damage across 3 turns. And this is going to be dealing 5. So we've got 10, 20, 30, 44. I am short on 46 damage. We got 6 attacks. Split that over. 6 attacks, 46. That is roughly 7 damage. Yikes. Let me just say Ash deals double damage with daggers. Yeah, Ash deals double damage with daggers. Ash deals double... no, I don't want to put double because then that'll confuse people reading it even if I put it down there. So no, Ash deals an additional D4 plus 3. Alternatively, you crits on 19 with daggers. That wouldn't be enough damage, Jason. Ironically enough, doubling the crit range wouldn't come close to giving this game a need here. So yeah. Yeah. Ash deals an additional D4 plus 3, which is... Oh, no. I'm just going to say 7. I'm just going to say 7. Ash deals an additional 7 damage with daggers. Already included in the attacks section. I'm going to double check how that's done. How that's done in... I think... a boar? No, not boar. Let me check a boar. There are enemies in D&D that already use this method of adding on damage. I can't remember which ones they are. No. I am saying, well, you're playing D&D? Didn't expect that. Do something very, very cool. Oh, thank you, mate. And yeah, I played D&D for years. Many, many years. Got into it in university, so that's a decade ago. Warframes 2 OP? None of you scaled them to meet the levels. Because players in Dungeons & Dragons are also pretty ridiculously powerful. Like at level 17, a wizard can just make a wish, and it happens in most cases. Rogues can just hit you with so much damage that it doesn't matter who you are, you just insta-die kind of thing. But yeah, I need to find a stat block which does this. Maybe... Oh, not Hobgoblin, what are they called? Those hyena-looking ones. What are they called? What are they called? Gnolls. Something's telling me a gnoll has the bonus damage I'm looking for in a stat block. Let me just... I'm trying to find that one. Grick. Golem. Gorgon. New. Oh, just do Golem have it? Nope. Goblin. Gnome. Gnoll? I'm wrong. Gnolls don't have it. God damn it. I know there's some that have this. Your favourite one is Mag. Love to see Necros Navarra. Mag's already been done. Mag is already done and in the document available for download on the Discord, my dude. Yeah, we got Mag, 4 tiers of her already completed. So if you wanted to put Mag into your D&D games, you already can. Absolutely. Actually, just come along, Cosmo, but I really need to find out how they include bonus damage in attacks, because I know that it's in something somewhere. I've seen it ages ago, and I don't remember where to find it. Because there are monsters that have just more attack damage, and then it's included in the attack itself. It might be in something that has innate fire damage. I've seen that. Galeb Dur, perhaps? Let's go past the giants, ghast, ghouls, djinn, gargoyle. Galeb Dur, is that one? Nope. God damn it, I can't remember anything. Anyone who's an expert in D&D monsters, I could really do with your help on this one, because this is annoying me. I'm just flicking through a book on stream, not knowing the thing I need to know, and that is annoying me. Elements of Demise, no, it's Ginny's. Ghost. Hobgoblin. Oh, Jason. Saying Hobgoblin. Okay, let's try Hobgoblin. GH. Hydra. Homunculus. Hobgoblin. Once per turn, deals an extra damage. Not quite, not quite. No, there's one where it's actually just straight up included in the damage because it's just always on. But I cannot for the life of me remember any of the monsters that have this. And there's multiple of them. I've seen it multiple times over. Hello, Brother Oni, how you doing? Let's see, Kraken, huge damage. Nope, that's not the one. Kratoa, nope. Amia, nope. Other Kratoas, nope. Lich, nope. Lizard Folk, nope. Oh, skew it. Nope. Nobody nope. Although a very interesting ability on that was Lizard Folk I just saw. I swear I've seen this. But I'm not finding it. I am checking through so many monsters at this point. I've got Medusa in front of me here. Mephits. Mephits aren't going to have it. Merfolk. As I say, I can ask my D&D server. Just a monster, bonus damage, and mundane weapon. Yeah, basically, Zom. Basically. So it says in its features above the actions that it deals extra damage on something. Like, it's part of an attack, and it says it's included in the attacks shown in the action section. So you don't have to remember to keep adding it on each time, it's just automatically there. Didn't we do this with Excalibur? We did not know. This is definitely something I've not done with these so far in this way. I know with Mag, I included some extra damage. But that was elemental damage? X and force damage. And the separate elemental damage I feel is just fine. Maybe I'm overthinking this. Maybe I can just include the damage and just call it a day. But it feels weird to have a weapon deal more damage than it should deal without saying why. Mag dealing more force damage is separate. You see the short sword here, it still deals the normal d6 plus 6 short sword damage, and then the force is extra thrown on top. It's clear this is an extra. But if I just said, oh, the short sword deals 3d6 plus 6 damage, well, read that like, but it's a medium humanoid with a short sword. Why is it doing that much damage? Exactly, Jason. Exactly. Yeah. Rules lawyers are the ones we are fighting here. And damn it, I'm going to do this right. I'm going to do this right. So I just need to find how it's done. And then I can do that. Because I could just say it deals X damage and that's it, job done. But I don't want to be so cheap. And this is why everything I do takes so long, because I don't just throw it aside and call it a day. I just don't. But finding everything then is an absolute pain. Is there some sort of shadow damage that bypasses armor? No. In almost no part of D&D should you find an instance of just damage. All damage has a type. And second to that, you'll very rarely come across something which just deals damage. I have actually got that as part of Excalibur's kit, but that's a bit separate. It's just kind of the scaling of it. Usually speaking, you don't bypass armor, you target something else. Is there something akin to enhanced precision that would just increase the damage? It's seeing how it's written into the books, Max and Madge. That's the main thing, because what I could do is I could just write into Ash right here. I could just put it into Dagger Mastery. You deal an extra 7 damage, and then I just call it a day. And just tell the DMs, remember to add this damage every time Ash uses an attack with a dagger. But that sucks. You don't tell the DM, keep referring back to this line every single time you use this basic number you are always going to use. You don't do that. If it is not temporary, don't act like it's temporary. So I should be including this in the attack. I need to find the wording as to how that is included in the books so that I can marry them up. Can we put a footnote on this? I suppose we should. I genuinely thought I was going to find this, and it's really annoyed me now. It's really annoyed me that I can't find this. I'm going to have to come back to that. You're very right, Zor. I should put a footnote on that one. So, I'll just leave this as is, or including the attack section. I swear to God, if it turns out they use that phrasing, I am gonna pissed that I got it first time and didn't notice. And that means this deals 1d4 plus 10 damage, so this is actually 12 damage per dagger, which is much more terrifying. Angelic weapons, Golita. You might have just got me that there. Angelic weapons, I'm assuming in angels then. I know we said we're putting a footnote on this, but that's new information. Arakokra, Aboleth, Angels, Diva. Angelic weapons. Here we go, yes! The Diva's weapon attacks are magical. When the Diva hits with any weapon, the weapon deals an extra 48 radiant damage. Brackets included in the attack. I was so close to the wording, but this is why I looked it up. Was Orc Warchief had it? Oh. I was so close to having it earlier as well. Golita, you're an absolute legend. Thank you very, very much. So yeah, you see with the mace, it says deals this much plus that because it's a separate damage type. But I imagine just with anything, it would come up. Right. I just closed that and I wanted to double check the wording. The brackets, just brackets included in the attack. Brackets included in the attack. I should say additional 7 piercing damage. There we are. Cool. All that time spent, and we just needed Golita here the entire time. Ah! And this is why you stream these things, because then you can get answers without having to Google them. Anyway, so dagger mastery, shuriken, bullet jump, dagger. Dagger deals damage. The dagger damage is now 12, so that is 24. And if we're looking at this here, aiming for 30, that's fine. 24 is a bit on the low side. We got the bonus action, which throws out another 14 on that one turn. So 24, 3 times over, 20, 40, 60, 72, 82, 86, 86, just shy of that 90 we're going for across 3 turns. That is good. That's good. Why do Warframes or Ash have 5 charisma? Because they're not about chatting with you. They're about just blundering in, murder hobo, take your stuff and feck off. They haven't got time for charisma. So that is the weak point of all Warframes. Their charisma is low. On the most advanced of them, it gets up to like 10 on the Vault Prime. On Mag Prime, it got to 12. And on Excalibur Prime, it got to 10. So yeah, that is a weakness. That is absolutely a weakness there. Okie dokie. Whew. Is that finished? The stats add up. We got the accuracy, we've got the damage, we got the bonus action, we got the spell fully written out, we got the level of the spell, the casting of the spell. I've replaced all instances of Vault with Ash. Hit points. Hit points are not done. 10 isn't low. No, 10 is ordinary. But that is a top tier Warframe being ordinary. So they're meant to be low. And when you say 10 isn't low, heightened, I said that was the primes. Vault Initiate, 5. Mag Initiate, 5. Excalibur Initiate, 5. The Initiates are 5. So yeah, it's 5. It's a weakness. Trust me, that's not an oversight. I wouldn't be defending it if it was an oversight. Alrighty, so hit points. I needed that to be higher. We need it to be more challenge rating 3 level, which is 60. So to get to 60 with a con mod of 0, it's just 4.5. 60 divided by 4.5 is 13. 13 times 4.5 is 58.5. So we'll go 58. Let's see. for 13 d8, that works. Close enough to what I was aiming for. So 15, 13 d8, that's the hit points on this one sorted out. We've got armor class, hit points, speed, stats, skills, that shouldn't have a space. Passive perception, language, challenge, jumping, general damage, spell, spellcasting, and usage. Dagger can make 2 attacks. One final bit I forgot. If thrown, Ash automatically draws a new dagger as part of this attack. So this gets around the fact that you can only draw so many weapons per turn. Ash doesn't need to worry about that. Ash throws a dagger, Ash draws a new dagger. Wah, 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 wah. Just keep throwing them. Excellent. There we are. We have ourselves an Ash Initiate. That is a completed Ash. Just like that. Just like that. They'll say the players can't murder hobo if the NPCs beat them to it. I mean, I am designing the Warframes as basically murder hobos. It's like Arsenal. Warframes collect weapons and armor to support their plunderous ways. They're especially drawn to magical items, or the recipes and resources to construct new magical items. Not like anyone we know. A Warframe will usually store these weapons in a hoard, laid out some grand arsenal, ready to face any threat on demand. Yeah, they are straight up murder hobos, plundering for stuff. Now they're a feral, unbound, plundering whatever and whomever to establish their hoard. Straight up Warframes and murder hobos. Except they have a home, but that home is their hoard. They might set up on the top of a mountain, looking down over land, almost as if they are orbiting it or something. I don't know. Yeah, fair enough, Tom, fair enough. I'm saying for the other 43 people who might not know. Anyhow, we have 1 Ash. Why not 2 Ash? Yeah, so copy the Ash directly from there. I'm going to scroll up just so I can see what we're doing with the Adepts here, and just as a reminder, as we are into building this. So the Ash Adept, me and Monstrosity, all that lot, I'm going to bump the challenge rating up all the way to 10. Nice devastating jump right here. The stats across the board, I want them higher. So the stats across the board, I need to add on a total of +8. Let's just jump that dexterity right the way to +5. So that's 2. Let's bring this up to an 8. That's 3, 4. Wiz can go up. +5 total. Let's bring this up. +6 total. Bring this up. +7 total. And the strength. +8 total. There we are. Now, if you're wondering why I'm counting that out, that's so that at each tier, they have the same total modifier. So the Ash Adept here is going to have +1, +6, +7, +10, +12, +11, because it goes back down 1. Same here for Vault Adept, 2, 6, 7, 11, 12, and then -1 back to 11. So it keeps them balanced in terms of their stats, even though their stats are changing between the different frames. Ash gets more dexterity than Vault because Vault is more caster, Ash is more assassin. Makes sense to me. Hope it makes sense to you. Let's do the rest of these. So we're aiming for challenge rating 10. I want the damage stats to be challenge 11, and I want the defensive stats to be close to challenge 9. Because, again, assassin-y type. So challenge 9, I actually put the AC down to 15, and that's still going to be just in line with dexterity, so that's good. AC 15 and hit points close to around about 135 is where I'm aiming. AC 15, hit points, we're aiming for a 135, we'll figure out the further mathematics on that later, plus we don't know yet. Skills, let's set on a skill. What skill do we think we add on here? What are we adding on for a skill? We've got stealth, we've got sleight of hand. What should be Ash's next skill as a ninja? Because we could go for perception, we could go for acrobatics. Jason also say acrobatics. We could go for something completely off-sense. We could go for religion. I don't know why a Warframe would have religion, but, well, Harrow. Harrow's going to have religion, as is Baruch, but, you know, we'll get there. We've got acrobatics, athletic suggestions going around. I'm saying acrobatics or athletics, maybe deception if you want to get spicy. Deception. I could see it, but Warframes aren't really communicators. They communicate with guns, you know? What do we want him to use these for? I'm keeping a standard where each Warframe tier gains an extra skill all the way up. So, like, if I go up to Excalibur here, we start with the Excalibur that has Athletics and Stealth, then Athletics, Perception, Stealth, then it's Animal Handling added on, and then finally, at top tier, we also get Acrobatics. But then with Mag, we start with Arcana Stealth, we add on Investigation, then we add on Perception, then we add on... I didn't. I'll need to fix that one. Yep. Whoops, I did not add another skill to Mag. Okay, that's a hot fix. That needs doing. Let me just quickly give Mag something. What am I going to do? Mag Prime. I hope it's not going to break anything. What skill to give? What skill to give? What skill to give? Acrobatics. Nice and simple. Acrobatics. Plus 12, yep, that's plus 12. There we go. Okay. So yeah, we're mixing them up. We're mixing them up. Just giving them all bits and pieces here or there. Loki, a bit more deception. Yeah. We've already got stealth, though. Deception allows you to target easier, which would be safer prime. That would be much more higher tier, wouldn't it? The one thing I don't want to do is min-max these guys. I don't want to give them all skills that just make them gods. Part of it is adding in that variety, like the animal handling on Excalibur, like the Arcana on Mag. I want that bit of variety that just indicates a subtle difference in how the Warframe could act. Because as much as they are monsters that can still interact with the world. So, lead of a cult, religion could apply here. Ash is the lead of a cult? Is he? So there's not going to be enough religious frames, and Assassin, let's do it. Bavarian, fair enough. I defer to your better knowledge on this one. Ash is religion proficient, which is going to be off the intelligence of +3, a proficiency of +2. It's actually +4. Yeah, +4. So +4, +3, +7. There we go. Because yeah, proficiency bonus is +4 at this tier. Whew, that's high. That is indeed a high stat to have. So, religion +7. Stealth is 5 and 4 +9. As is the sleight of hand. Passive perception is now 12. There we go. Okie dokie. Could even see history for him. Could do history on the lay to 1, yeah. Religion's just the measure methodic approach to a practice. I know. I know how religion applies in D&D, yeah. Also by the law, Sanjai Ash's signature weapons were dual hammers. I personally prefer the daggers. Oh yeah, come on. It has to be daggers. It has to be daggers on Ash. It just has to be. Having him fight with anything else just doesn't fit. Anywho, right then, let's fix through the rest of these. Challenge rating 10. If someone could look up how much XP that is, that'd be amazing, thank you. Once per turn, Ash may turn a jump into a bullet jump. The vertical on that is now 4/8. And the horizontal is 24. Not a huge increase, but an increase. Dagger Mastery. Ash deals an additional 7 piercing damage with daggers and can throw them, let's say twice the distance, twice as far. We'll include all that in a moment. Tier 10, 5900. Jason, once again being amazing. Thank you. There we go. Right then. Brother is saying, what I remember of Ash is Laverian, he has more of a target-seeking missile that gets unleashed on a target, rather than an investigatory type frame like Loki. Alright. Sibijoy asking, are you doing the stat box based on in-game abilities or with a heavier focus on lore information? Mostly on the in-game abilities. Mostly there. So, like I'm using on Vault here, we've got Shock, Speed, Electric Shield, and Discharge, and they are functioning close to, or heavily based on, how they function in-game. I'm not focusing on the exact stats as to how big they are, or how much damage they do compared to another ability. That's scaled in D&D terms. But the shape of them, the way they feel, that's based on how they feel in-game in Warframe. So Shock, rather than fully stunning the players, because being stunned as a player sucks, Shock instead drops your speed to 0 if it hits you, which is effectively the same as getting enemies in Warframe to just kind of go as they're being zapped. Someone's probably going to clip that, aren't they? There we go. New red text is music puns for some reason. Oh, okay. Fair enough. I scrolled the wrong thing. Right then. Ashy. Right then. So, Dagger Mastery. I'm not increasing the damage right now. I'll see if I need to increase it. But for now, increasing the range is enough to make it more dangerous. Shuriken, I don't need to increase the AC reduction. That's just good as is. I could increase the damage. And I should increase the damage. Let's make that 46. Let's see. What damage actually are we aiming at here? Not mastery. Challenge 11. 55 is roughly where I'm aiming at. That's quite a bit of damage. So if I'm doing 14 to 2 targets on a once per use, I'll make that 2 per short rest. Just make it extra devastating. If I do that, 14 as a bonus action should add on a bit. Let's take it higher. 5d6. So that would be 14, 15, 16, 17. Oh yeah. Yes, I did just add 1 at a time to go from 14 to 17. That's how you count. Right, spell attack to hit is 3 plus 4 for plus 7. Nice jump up right there. And AC is reduced to 10 plus dexterity modifier, which is fine. Spell save DC that we're not using yet, but we'll get around to that. Would be 8 plus 7 for 15. And spell attack is, as we just calculated, plus 7. Could increase crit chance and lower crit rolls. But Shuriken doesn't increase crits. So as much as I could add that on, not only is it adding more differences to the D&D side of things, it also isn't actually true to the lore. So I would be averse to adding in things which don't match either system, really. I've worked out Rainuva. Fair do. Fair do. Alright, so 1 per short rest is now 2 per short rest for Shuriken. We need to add on... Is it called Smoke Bomb or Smoke Screen? I think it's Smoke Bomb. Someone can tell me if I'm wrong in a second, I'm sure. The spell... this one should be an action. It's greater invisibility we're basically doing, so it should definitely be an action. Smoke Screen. Damn it. Of course I get it wrong. Of course I get it wrong. There we are. And I call myself a professional content creator for Warframe, eh? I don't know. Okay, so... Renee was saying, too bad this is the only week you finished work is still on. Oh yeah, because your clocks are going to go back soon now, aren't they? There's that little interlude, or interim period, where mine's gone back but yours ain't. Yeah. Right, so, Ash... Ash deploys sounds too mechanical. Ash shrouds himself in smoke, appearing to vanish into thin air. Oh, I need a duration list. 1 minute. No. Actually, no. I don't need a duration because it's only going to be a short one. Ooh, how long do I make this last? Oil states ended it, Rainover. Nice. I'm sure all the programmers love that. Nice. Yeah. Appearing to vanish into thin air. Will it trigger a stun? I'll pop onto that in a sec. I'll pop onto that, yeah. Basis 8 seconds. But as an action, because of D&D balancing, as an action, it's not going to do a lot. This is a challenge rating 10 creature. Two to 3 rounds. Having something last for a number of rounds doesn't really feel right. I don't know of many or any abilities that last for just 2 to 3 rounds in D&D. I know we don't need to stick to just D&D stuff, but trying to keep it more in keeping with that helps. Now I'm going to make this a minute. I am going to make this a minute. I suppose what we... How about some? Can we cancel an attack? That's the I don't want it to cancel an attack because his whole point is he's invisible whilst attacking. Minute in D&D fighting is 10 turns. 10 rounds. Brother Oni is wrong. Yeah, a round is 6 seconds, both 4th edition and 5th edition. And we're doing 5th edition here. So we've got various ways we could go this. We could say that it lasts for 3 rounds or 2 rounds or whatnot, but that just seems awkward compared to a lot of stuff that usually works in D&D. We could say that it lasts until you attack, but then that means Ash isn't actually going to get that much benefit from it. And this is, again, a challenge rating 10 creature. It's supposed to get quite some benefit from its invisibility. I get that we want it to be short because there are longer invisibilities out there, but those longer invisibilities we can make yet longer. And the difference between Loki and Ash, I know that Loki is twice the duration of his invisibility, but honestly, I don't know that they need to be that different. Quite frankly. What is the level on... I mean, just a quick reference, Loki Warframe. When does invisibility come online? Is that 2nd or 3rd ability? It's 2nd. So yeah, we're scaling these as the same tier, roughly. They can have the same duration. 1 minute is fine. 1 minute is absolutely fine. What we could do is that if struck by a critical hit, the invisibility ends. When he was saying, well, when Ash was originally designed, it was intended to be a space creation thing, where stun would keep the enemies from attacking him while he went invisible and could reposition. Interesting. Because the other thing is, if I make it very short, like just until the end of his next turn, I'd want to make it a bonus action, which I can. It kind of runs against Shuriken at the same time. And due to spellcasting limits, they're still limited on how often they can cast things. That might be better overall. Bonus action, only lasts till end of next turn, but then he can still use his action to make attacks. Yeah, I think that's the best way to do this, actually. Now I've thought it over some more. Make it a quicker cast, bonus action, don't need a duration, lasts until end of next turn, it is meant to be short. And then we can have the riders on it, so it'll be more powerful, but it's still very short. Ash shrouds himself in smoke, appearing to vanish into thin air. Becoming invisible until the end of its next turn. If I put any gendered words throughout any of this, please let me know. It's supposed to be "it's" on everything. As much as in normal Warframes appear to have genders, I'm keeping that out for monsters. So, appearing to vanish into thin air, invisible, becoming invisible until the end of its next turn. Up, corrections, Ash in dagger section himself, itself. Ah, thank you. Yep, I've already messed up. Ash shrouds itself. Thank you. I didn't even catch the message on that. Thank you, Eliu. I do apologize. Thank you, Raynuva, for bringing my attention back to it. Sorry, Eliu. I really did not mean to miss your message there. Okie dokie. Yeah, I think that works a bit better there. So, invisible to the end of next turn. Also lowercase Ash in dagger. God damn it. Where's that one? In dagger? Thrown. Yeah, there we are. Which means this one is lowercase. There we go. Thank you. Eliu, it's all then good. You've got the space the wrong way around. I'm sorry, that's me. That was me. Anyway, Ash shrouds itself in smoke, appearing to vanish into thin air, becoming invisible until the end of its next turn. Enemies within 5 foot of Ash when it casts this spell must make a... Now for perception-based stuff, I'd imagine that'd be wisdom, right? So we're not going for stunning, but I can go for blinding. Oh, but then he's going to be invisible anyway, so blinding doesn't work. Well, it would still help with Ash's allies, so that'd be a more icing, yeah. And if Ash's invisibility gets dispelled, they still are blinded, so it could work out, yeah. Could be reflex to avoid smoke expulsion. Reflex is a previous edition thing right over. Here we've got strength, dex, con, int, whiz, char saves. They split them up stupidly. I get reflex to dodge, but because it's a perceptive thing. But yeah, no, it's gonna be dex then, isn't it? Yeah. Enemies within 5 foot of Ash when it casts a spell must make a dexterity saving throw. DC is 15. I put that in brackets because it's easier to read than having to refer to spellcasting all the time. On a failed save, are augments taken into consideration? Yes, but no. But yes, but no. So I only include augments in cases where the base ability is too simple or too uninteresting to actually be worthwhile as a spell in this setup. So on Excalibur, he has Chromatic Blade just built in, but all of the other abilities are just the abilities as is, because Slash Dash is interesting enough, Radial Blind is interesting enough, Radial Javelin is interesting enough. I leave those as they are. With Mag, none of the augments are there. It's just Pull, Polarize, Magnetize, and Crush. I got that in the wrong order, but no one cares. No augments needed on those ones. With Volt, again, I think no augments have been added, so Shock Trooper isn't there. I haven't got whatever the one is on Discharge, you know what I'm talking about. I'm only including augments where they are necessary to make the ability actually interesting. With Shuriken on its own is just you throw a couple Shurikens, they take damage. Yawn. So I've added on Seeking Shuriken there to make it where it sunders the armor. I'm also, for Ash, going to be making it where Teleport has the... what's it called? I should know this. I used the augment earlier today. Fatal Teleport. So I'll be using Fatal Teleport as part of that so that Ash will immediately attack with a devastating attack when making that teleport. That way I can keep it as an action-based thing, and I can make it very much a single target, screw you in particular kind of attack. That's what I'm going for on that one. So augments is a yes, but only if it's needed to make the ability actually interesting in D&D. Alrighty, so on a failed save, so what are we going for? I think blinded is the right thing. As much as blinded doesn't really synergize with invisibility, it kind of still works out, and it makes it less overpowered. So yeah, on a failed save, the target becomes blinded until the end of Ash's next turn. Simply that. So a smoke screen spell, 1 bonus action. Ash shrouds itself in smoke. Oh, excuse me, that food is really going through me. Appearing to vanish into thin air, becoming invisible until the end of its next turn. Enemies within 5 foot of Ash, when it casts its spell, must make a dexterity saving throw. On a failed save, the target becomes blinded until the end of Ash's next turn. Ah, there's a smoke screen. Cast it once per short rest at this tier, 1 per short rest. Oop, not that. Smoke screen. And this, we're going to say, is a 4th level, because why not? I've just chosen that level. I'm just choosing 4th level. Shuriken I buffed up as well, so that should be a 3rd level now. Rennie was saying it's also powerful for action lock styles of play. Players' turns interactions, DM. Beneficial order. Ooh. Okay, well, that's a very different way of playing, but fair enough. Very different way of playing. Very, very different way of playing. I'll be honest, I get the appeal for that kind of play style to try and make things more simultaneous. But D&D wasn't designed to be simultaneous, so I'm definitely not going to be balancing any of this around the idea of action lock. Action lock styles of play, as you say. Won't be balancing around that. Right, multi-attack. This is where we need to look at the math. I'm assuming I'm going to want to have 3 attacks with daggers, but let's see how this all pans out. Let's update the stats and then take it from there. So ranged weapon attack is now a +9 to hit on this tier. Or range, the range should be doubled to 4120. The actual damage we've said so far +7 and +5 is +12. To make this, that's the end of the line. To make this here a 14 currently. So challenge rating 11 is the damage I'm aiming for, because it's challenge rating 10, I'm going for slightly more damaging, slightly less tanky. 55 per turn is what I'm looking for. Across 3 turns, that is 165. We get Shuriken twice, so that's going to send out 34 twice over 68. I'm going to count this on my calculator. 165 minus 68. Got 97 damage left to do. Across 9 attacks, that's going to come out to around 10 damage a time. Ooh, this is actually more damage than I intended. I can actually just leave it at that then. It's going to be very high damage, but that I think is safe to leave as is, maybe? Maybe it's too much. If I went with 2 attacks, I might be able to scale that better then. So I'm aiming for 97 damage across 3 turns with however many dagger attacks. If I do 97 divided by 6, it comes out to 16 damage. So what I could do is make this 2 attacks with its daggers. With the 14, that's still a bit low. I can bring that up to the 16 by simply just changing the dagger mastery here to additional 9 piercing damage. So this will be 14, making this 16, and there you go. Pretty much mathematically bang on where I need it to be. We're really counting the digits on that one there. Now, this doesn't take into account the fact that Shuriken is going to be reducing enemy armor. This isn't taking into account the fact that Smokescreen is going to make it where Ash has avoided detection and therefore gets advantage to attack. You combine those together, Smokescreen plus Shuriken. Oh boy, you are in trouble. You are absolutely in trouble. But that's the idea. You bring Fairy Fire. You remove the ability for Ash to be benefiting from invisibility. That's what you do. So yeah, 2 attacks with the daggers thrown and they deal just so much damage. I think that's fine as is. And added benefit, the crits aren't dangerous. A critical hit from Ash here will only deal an average of 2.5 more damage. With the way this is set up. Some might see that as a 4, that his crits aren't actually dangerous. I actually see that as a positive because it means rather than worrying about the spikes being really high, we can keep the average damage high because it's not going to go crazy with the advantage to hit and the reduced AC. He's hitting consistently rather than spiking like a paladin. I think that actually works out for him. How do you feel about it, chat? How do you feel about it? The fact that his crits aren't going to be much more devastating than normal hits, but his normal hits are going to be very consistent. Am I playing D&D by myself? I'm designing it. And not by myself, I've got you guys here. But yeah, I'm designing it. Let's see. So we got the XP in, we've got that. I need to sort out the hit points. Constitution modifier is +1, so D8 +1. That is a 5.5. We're aiming for about 135 hit points. 135 by 555. 24.5. I want him on the weaker side, so I'm going to go for 24. 132 hit points. 24 D8 plus 24. There we are. Cool. So we've got the armor class, hit point, speed. No change to the speed. We got the stats across the board. We got the skills. Haven't got the saving throw. Always forget. Saving throws. Ash is very clearly going to need a saving throw of some kind. The assassin, I feel like dexterity is very on the nose, but yeah, dexterity is defensive. I don't want to give him defenses against hit point loss. I've brought 2 pairs of shoes. Okay. So I'm going to give him wisdom to prevent mind control kind of stuff. Fits in with nothing in particular. I'm just going to go wisdom. Yeah, just whiz. And that would be a +6. What's Blazing Religion? Yeah, cannot be swayed from his faith, I suppose. Warframe friend just told you they spilt pop on their laptop. Oh dear. Oh dear. That's a dead laptop. Righty, yeah. So we got the daggers, we got the improved range, we got the improved damage, we got the multi-attack, we're leaving it at 2 attacks because we got so much extra damage and it works out. We got the shuriken, we got the smoke screen, we got the improved amount of those, we got the improved damage of those, we got the attack bonuses in the correct place. Is it? Wait. Yeah, because shuriken has a lower to hit than daggers because shuriken is keying off intelligence. Yes, that is fine. Ironic, actually, that shuriken's going to have a lower chance to hit, given its auto-targeting in Warframe. But you know what? That's fine. These quirks pop up. It's still devastating. I'd say that is a completed Ash Adept. I'm happy with that. Which brings us on to the Ash Master. I am very keenly aware of the time we have to do this, but let me see if I can. Ash Master. Capital on the Master. There we go. Challenge rating for this, I'm going to aim for challenge rating 15, which is a little bit scary. You know, just a little bit, but it's cool. So aiming for challenge rating 15 on this one here. Starting point for all of that lot then on 15, -1, 14, armor class 17. So let's aim for that. That is definitely going to be a case of natural armor. I think I capitalized both parts of natural armor. I remember. I'm going to capitalize them both. Someone tell me if I'm wrong. Hit points we're aiming for as well. Challenge rating 15, -1, 14. Aiming for round 210 mark, or maybe low. I might go lower. Because of the invisibility, but it's not got any resistances though. And invisibility is going to be easy to counter at this level. No, 210. Don't need to break them all too much. 210. Let's go with it. I will give them a slight speed buff at this level. Just a teeny tiny one. A little bit more movement to work with. Saving throws. We've got wisdom. We can add on... Add on intelligence, actually. Or, no, add on charisma. Again, keeping in with the whole cult aspect I even mentioned. The charisma, making it harder to banish along with whatever else happens. That should be good. Stats-wise, I think it's a +1 to everything except charisma is my usual upgrade at this point. Dexterity is already at 20. I don't want to put that as a 22 just yet. Is it too early to make dexterity 22? Or should I give it a double bonus to int? Then int match dexterity. Now this guy's supposed to be a super assassin. It's not too early for 22 on dexterity. It's not too early for that. I can absolutely give it that now. And then we leave charisma still at the -1 because that's where I leave these warframes. So, proficiency at challenge 15. It goes 5, 9, 13 are the increases. That's going to be a +5. Which means the whiz saving bonus is now a +8. The charisma is a +4. We're even saying give int stuff to prime for the shuriken stuffs, plus the perception for targeting. Unspoken power spike. I mean, intelligence is already going up to +4. But let's see, what's next? Next is... but the next ability, Renewven. The next ability is teleport. That's not going to use int. Teleport is just going to teleport. And then it's a stab, which is dexterity focused more than anything. To finish a play. So I think actually sticking with the dexterity makes him more lethal. Because he's not going to be keying off int for anything more than shuriken still at this point. Well, there's also smoke screens saving throw, but that's not really that big a deal. I'm going to give him perception though, you're absolutely right. Will Fatal Teleport be like Dimension Door or like a charge attack? More like a charge attack. Fatal Teleport, you teleport to... You can teleport to either an object or creature. And then he may attack the thing he's teleported to, and it's going to be a devastatingly strong attack. So teleports to wherever within range and within sight, and then may attack it devastatingly strongly. Skill, we've said running on perception, which comes at the start of this list. Perception will be +8. Religion has gone up to +9. Stealth is now +14. No, it's not. +11. I miscounted. Somehow. Sleight of hand +11, but that's still a lot. Passive perception is now 18. Yikers. Once again, I need to know how much XP that is. So if someone would be very kind to us, let me know what the XP for challenge 15 is, that'd be great. Bullet jump, let's update these stats. They just need to go up a little bit. So that is now 10 foot vertical or 28 foot horizontal. Easy peasy. Dagger mastery I will look at later, although I might just say 3 times the range. 3 times as far, including the attack, which I'll do right now, so don't forget. 6180, just to make the daggers even more dangerous. The shuriken spell, I don't think I need to make any direct changes to it just yet. We'll figure out in terms of damage output if that needs to change, but for now that can stay there. Smoke screen is a bonus action, that's still fine as is. Fatal Teleport. I'm going to give it the name Fatal Teleport. I know I've not done that with Chromatic Blade. I left it as Exalted Blade, but here, just Teleport. 1, it's too bland. 2, it clashes with the Teleport spell. So I'm going to call this Fatal Teleport. So, 1 action. 13,000. Thank you, Heverbray. 13,000. That sounds like a lot. That tracks. That tracks. 13,000. Okay, cool. So, Fatal Teleport. Ash instantly teleports to an object or instantly teleports to an unoccupied space adjacent to an object or creature it can see within, let's give this a good range, 120 feet. Okay, maybe not that much range. Maybe 80 feet. We can put it higher on the prime. This is adult bronze dragon tier. Nice. Nice. So, Ash instantly teleports to an unoccupied space adjacent to an object or creature it can see within 80 feet. If there is not an unoccupied space, Ash cannot target that object or creature. Just to simply rule out trying to teleport to a stone on the edge of a wall to teleport through the wall or something. 60 foot? I don't need to make it all the way down to 60 foot. Well, I put this on 80 foot. Actually, I should put that higher. Now you mention it. 1.5 times 60, 90. Let's take it up higher. I want this to be scary. Misty Step is only 30? True. Misty Step also, for those curious about what Misty Step is and why I'm dismissing this one quickly. Misty Step is a 2nd level bonus action spell. This, however, is going to be a once per short rest usage on a challenge rating 15 creature as an action. So while Misty Step has a range of 30, this is going to be far more devastating than that. And therefore it can have a higher range. This is called Fatal Teleport, not Slightly Inconvenient Teleport. So, if there's not an occupied space, Ash cannot target the object or creature. That works. Immediately after teleporting, Ash may attack the target object or creature with its dagger. You're very welcome, Grumpy Pants. With its dagger. I would say, my question about damage store or charge due to counterplay, could it be tripped or intercepted? Nope, it's a teleport. It's a dangerous one. We are at, as Hefferbray puts it, adult bronze dragon level. Ash can't fly, Ash teleports. So, Ash may attack the target or object or creature with its dagger, enhanced by the spell. Just going to say it straight there so the DM doesn't immediately start looking down to the dagger section. You go, oh, what's the enhancement? So that's actually to keep the DM reading rather than necessary for the description itself. Those little quirks. So, Ash may attack the target object or creature with its dagger enhanced by this spell. Enhanced by the spell. Let's see. For the enhancement, I'm thinking we could combine the dexterity and intelligence. So we'd have, with the proficiency, that'd be plus 15 to hit. I mean, does that sound ridiculous? A normal attack with a dagger would be plus 11. So to make this one a plus 15 to hit, I mean, it's only 4 higher, but plus 15? Crikey. No, I think that actually kind of works. Because if something could survive a plus 15 attack, it deserved it. It deserved it. It's like trying to target Fatal Teleport onto a Demolisher. That one just kind of tanks it, and oh, okay, this one didn't work on you. You're too good. But if you don't survive, if the Ash has already used, say, Shuriken the previous round, and then comes out with faceless teleport, then you're screwed. Yeah, I'm happy to roll with that. So that would be melee, weapon, attack, plus 15 to hit. Yeah. I don't want to give the advantage Grumpy Pants because advantage can come from other areas. So, for example, Ash might have used Smokescreen last round, so is invisible, and therefore has advantage from that already. So instead, I want the bonus here. I'm dragging the bonus from the intelligence, so there is that ability to stack things together, and therefore is in the player's benefit to counter these things, to not allow Ash to start stacking benefits. You take care, Alphabray. Thanks for dropping in. So I'm intentionally allowing Ash to stack up the bonuses here. You either learn about it and counter it, or you get wrecked. Just like with the other Warframes. If you don't learn about it, you die. So Ash may attack the target or object creature with its dagger enhanced by a spell. Melee weapon attack plus 15 to hit. I don't need to say the reach stuff or target stuff, it's just that target. On hit, the target takes... So you might say, how scary do you want to make it? Could make the Fated Teleport guarantee a crit if the attack roll lands. So it's an Assassin Rogue feature. Now what I can do is, if it crits, it's just going to go sky high, because I'm just going to make this damage dice. Rather than the pluses that are usually here, instead it's just going to be a whole load of damage dice, like a spell typically has. And so if that crits, the damage just straight up doubles. You rarely get spells that can crit at this level, so it's already going to be dangerous. Your typical critting weapon doesn't actually crit that highly, except in the case of, you know, Assassin Bros, because they have so many d6s, they are scary already. But this should be kind of on the level of that, in addition to the fact that it is a teleport with bonus damage from someone who can already be invisible whilst doing it. Like, Assassin and Rogue wishes they could teleport invisibly to instantly attack. They wish they could do that. So I think scaling back, not going crazy on the crits as well, keeps it where it's still dangerous, but isn't likely to just go boom straight away. But still good. As again, that consistency. So where we're at, this is going to be a one-time thing. It's challenge rating 16 aim. Limited use attacks do 4 times the damage budgeted if they're not multi-target. This is single target. Oh god. I'm aiming for challenge 16 on the damage here. So that 80 times 4, 320? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? 320? There's no way that'll be the right damage. Imagine your DM turns to you and says, yeah, so it hit you for 320 damage. And you're level 15. There's no way anyone would sit at the table for that. No. That can't be a right figure. I mean, that just instantly kill wizards. And I probably could well instantly kill fighters at that tier. No, that can't be right. That can't be right. That can't be right. That's that figure's for max rolls. This figure isn't for max rolls. No, this figure is for average. It's assuming everything hits, but it's otherwise average. That's what this damage column is. And this is per turn. So for typical encounter balancing, you should be using 3 turns as a basis. So like, a challenge rating 1 monster per turn should be doing 10 damage if everything hits. For save DC to half damage. And we're doing an attack, so it's an all or nothing this is. If it misses, it misses. But if it hits, it hits. I need something on this level to see. I need something on this level to compare. Let me find one. This is going to be hard to find, but I need something on this level to compare against. Because one-shotting someone and saying, sorry, you died, is too much. Yeah, Grumpy Pants, yeah. If it crits, no one's surviving that at that scale. Yeah, you're right. So I need to find a comparison. Let me get my DMG. For some reason, they made the monster manual not have monsters by level. They put it in the DMG. Why? Why? Anyway, monsters by challenge rating. Let me get some to compare against. So, Adult Bronze Dragon and Green Dragon, they do AoE stuff. Death Tyrant, in there, Mummy Lord, Purple Worm. Let's have a look at those two. Mummy Lord and Purple Worm. Let me see what the Mummy Lord does first. And then I'll check the Purple Worm. Mind Flayers, Mimics, Minotaurs, Modrons, Mummy Lord. So, multi-tap. Mummy can use Dreadful Glare and makes one attack with its Rotting Fist. Dreadful Glare targets one creature it can see. Wisdom save, or it becomes frightened until the Mummy takes turn. Target fails by 5 or more, it's paralyzed. Oh, it succeeds, is immune to it. Okay, that's pretty middle of the road. Rotting Fist hits for 35 damage, and then is also cursed. Fair enough. Okay, wow. That's very different. 3 crit hit kill is always fair, but non-crit hit killing is just unfair. I agree, right here, yeah. Are Exploding Dice not consideration? Exploding Dice don't really exist in 5th edition, no. They don't really exist. Alright, so Mummy Lord, too much on the curse side for me to compare there. Purple Worm was the other one. Check. So, OP, P comes before Arcaneth. Pixie. Purple Worm. How much does the Purple Worm do? Multi-attack. Makes 2 attacks, one with bite and one with stinger. The bite to one target is 22 damage. And be swallowed, where it does another 21 damage. So that'll be 43 already there. And then the stinger adds on another 19. So it's 43, 53, 62. And then the con save, which is hard to pass, for another 42 damage, or half on success. What did I get up to? I lost track there. 20, 43, 53, 62, 105 damage, and it can do that every turn. Oh, fuck. Still 80 when passing a save. Yeah. And you don't... The counting here doesn't count when you pass the save. So the damage stats here, like for challenge rating 1, where it says 10 damage, it might have something which is 10 damage, or on save you take half. It counts that as 10 damage. Like I said, there's something about our streamer not being afraid to let his geek flag fly. I'm fully geek. Geek, nerd, the whole lot. Whole shebang. The only thing I ain't is dork. But otherwise, yeah, absolutely. Come on now. My occupation is I make guides about how to play one game. Does it really get less geeky than that? More geeky than that, sorry. Does it really get more geeky than that? Alright, that's just double advantage, Raynuva. That's just double advantage. That's attack rolls. That just guarantees... That's basically, if you're saying the best of 3 attack rolls, it's just guaranteeing a hit. No. I'm just going to scale the damage back. I know what it says here, but I'm just going to scale the damage back. It can't be that high. I don't care what my guide says. At this point, that's just too much. You're thinking of damage, not attack? At that point, you might as well just say a flat damage then. If you're rolling the damage dice 3 times, first of all, that's a lot of damage dice to roll to ignore them. And secondly, you're basically as close to maxing out the damage. So the DM might as well just max it out. Because like, if I just bring this up onto here real quickly. If I go any dice. If I go... Oh, what's the documentation on this one? How do I do that one? Hmm. Yeah, I could do that. I could do that. Calculator output highest of. I'll just remind me that there. Oh, it's meant to be in square brackets. The highest of 66. Oh, let's go higher. Let's go something with average 55 damage, for example. 10d10 and 10d10. So if I just do that on its own there, we're saying of the average of 10d10 and 10d10, the average output at that point is 60. Bear in mind this maxed out at 100. We're already up to 60. And if we did that twice over, I don't know if this will double stack, but I'm going to try it. Highest of... I don't know if this is going to work on this calculator, but I'm going to try it. It might cry at me here. Oh, it did. 64. Okay, so it's not as close to the max as I figured, but you can see where it pushes it. Like, the damage range is here. At that point, you might as well, rather than get the DM to roll 30 dice, you just tell them a figure. Just tell them a figure, or you say, this is a range of... It's centered on 64 here. So you got a reasonable range of about 12. So you could just say 52 plus 2d12. Having that many dice makes pretty centered distribution. It does. When you've got that many dice and then you're saying the highest of it multiple times over. I think I've actually done it 4 times, but the point stands. It reaches a point where you don't need to keep on getting the DM to roll dice. Just give them a smaller number of dice and add a plus to it. That's why you don't see repeated damage rolls loads. Rather than doing roll out all of these dice, you just give them a number. A little bit of variance, but otherwise just give them a number. So yeah, there's a lot of ways of looking at all this stuff to try and meet it all out and figure out what should and shouldn't and does and doesn't work. It's an interesting one. So going back to the actual damage we want to deal then, I'm aiming at this here. You thinking max? No, it needs to be higher than that. This is a one-off attack. He's got other attacks available to him, but this is a one-off attack. So even if I'm not going for the triple, go for the double for the 160. Certainly as it's just an attack and can miss, I think it's valid. Because yeah, if 160 average crits, it's average 320. It could go even higher than that. Well, tough cookie. I might give it a plus on that rather than a flat dice roll, so that the crit will be less powerful. Not to the extent of 52 plus 2d12, but still meet it out. I think I want half the damage on the roll dice and half the damage on the hit, on the plus. Got up about saying Hill Dwarf Barbarian, tough feat, 20 con, luck to roll 12 on the hit dice. For every level up, we'll have 320 health at level 16. Nothing else will. Yeah, but if you have 320 health and you take 320 damage, you go to 0, sure. But this is Fatal Teleport. If it was 640 damage, then yes, that would be badly scary. Let's see, what's a D8 character rocking here? A D8 character at level 15, which is what we're aiming this at. They'll have 8 for their starting. They'll have 5 times 17 for their... No, sorry, 5 times 14 for their other levels. And then they... Let's say a plus 3 con. If you're up at this level, you should be having plus 3 con, let's be honest now. That's 45 on top. That comes to 123. That comes to 123. No matter what we do, this a single target is basically just getting fucked at this level. It doesn't matter what you do. A single target is getting fucked. Like, if this purple worm that I've got here in front of me, challenge rating 15, decided to go for a single target, it hits them for 19. Then they have to make a DC 19 Constitution saving throw. If you're worried about your hit points, you are going to fail that saving throw. So that is a further 42 damage. So already from the Tail Stinger on the book Purple Worm, that is 61 damage. And that's one of the 2 attacks it's doing this turn. 61 damage. Then out comes the bite. That bite is a further 22 damage. So that is just scaling it right the way up. I suppose that's one thing I could do, is I could split this into 2 attacks. Fatal Teleport allows him to make 2 attacks. That could meet it slightly. Fighter Paladins will have 138 or 158 plus for con. Hold up. Fighter starts with 10 and then 14 times 6. And then with 3 con, they would have 45. 139, but okay. So I need to make this 2 attacks. It's pure and simple. I need to make this 2 attacks. You took 123 added 15? I must have got it wrong then. Oh wait, no. I didn't get it wrong. You added 15, that was wrong because level 1, they'd start with 10 hit points versus the 8 on the D8 class, so it would be plus 16. There it is, yeah. Okay, so what we've learned from this is firstly, balancing a video game... well, this isn't a video game. Balancing a game is complicated. That's one thing we've learned. Second, we've learned to take all these stats with a grain of salt. Third, we've remembered that multiple attacks are necessary. So, multiple attacks it is. Because otherwise it's too all or nothing. If I make it multiple attacks and they all hit, then screw you, they all hit, you die. If you allow the Ash to shuriken you and then smokescreen you and then teleport onto you, you die. Yeah. Yo, CB Draw, it has been a while. I hope everything's been good. It has been good for myself, yeah. No new random questions today. So you're playing D&D. Well, designing D&D, but yes. Absolutely. Running of saying sounds like a full round action. You don't get that in the 5th edition, no. It's just they won't have a lot of other actions to do. Yeah, I want this to be devastating. I'm going to make it 2 attacks and aim for the attacks to be around 80 each. I know it's not the 4 times that it says to do, but honestly, if I do any more than that, that's just... It just doesn't seem right for this 4 times damage stat. I don't see that being true. Unless I'm misunderstanding how this all adds up. And I'm not, because I've been using this and referencing it and comparing it. Oh, let me get the DMG. How experienced am I? Reasonably. I've been playing D&D for 10 years. I've DM'd for... I've lost count how many groups now. I've been mostly a DM most of the time, but yeah. What we're trying to do here, trying to balance turning Warframes into monsters, particularly Ash's Fatal Teleport, trying to balance it appropriately. I don't need my monster manual, I need my DMG. To see what they say. The stats in the DMG are off, but they're not like massively off, so I'm just going to check this real quick. Go full nerd here. Where is it? I think I've gone too far. I've gone well too far. Not in that section. There it is. Challenge 15. The DMG suggests per round that it would do 90... for 16, about 99 to 104 damage per round. Okay. Right. Yeah. So, like, if it dealt... So, if we did go by the justification there of 4 times, that would be 320, which according to the DMG would use up basically all of its budget there and then, but that is on brand for a single one-off, single target attack, because it still left the rest of the party there to kill. It's just so much. Basically, what I'm learning is that single target damage is supposed to be really, really high, whilst AoE damage is supposed to be middle or ground, which is something we forget about in Warframe, don't we? Yeah. Single target is supposed to be horrifying. Which is why monsters tend not to use single target so much once you get to that tier. A nice DM breaks up the attacks. A cold DM says the purple worm goes for you and you alone. Just power word kill if you want to single target kill someone. Well, that's just guaranteed. If they're less than 100 hit points, it's just guaranteed. A DM should never use power word kill on a player because the metagame of it is so strong. Power word kill as a spell is just terrible in D&D, I think, because you can't not metagame it. There's no getting around it. But yeah, if I go for double attack, each 180, it's still not the 4 times it's suggesting here, but I'm going to have to triple check how all this comes together. Something feels off about it. Is it? Something's awry on this. I'm going to have to look into this further later. Power words are there for plot reasons, never for actual combat. True. True. Alright, I'm going to pencil this in. I'm going to pencil this in as 2 attacks of around 80 damage each, and I'm going to research this. I know it would still go that high or any of it. The idea is that the likelihood of it double critting is 1 in 400. Because that's 20 and 20. The chances are much higher if it's got advantage as well. Don't let it get advantage. Your challenge rating 15 creature is supposed to be pretty damn strong. If you let it deal a double crit attack like that, then you're fucked up. It's just avoiding that swing of all or nothing ultra kill. Because this is a one-off use. It can't keep doing this. It's just a one-off. But it's still there. It's still powerful. I'm really going to have to look into this stuff later. Really, really later. For now, as I say, I'm going to pencil it in. Ash may make 2 attacks against the target object or creature with its dagger enhanced by the spell. No weapon attack on hit. Target takes, so we're aiming for roughly 80. Let's say I want 4. Also, that's the other thing. You're saying it'll double on crit, but actually if I put half of it into the plus, half of the dice, then it's not double. Still wouldn't be double. So, aiming for around about 80. If I go with... What do I think? If I go for D12s, if I go with 60-12, that is an average of 36, no. 39. I go, yeah. 60-12 plus 41. Which I know is not common for a spell attack, but there we go. 60-12 plus 41, which... that constrains the range a bit. The 60-12 is 3 lots of 13, 39, plus that, yeah, that's 80 damage. Even if that crits, and that's unlike in itself, that's going to add on 39 damage. Not 80, 39 on average. You know nothing about how it works in game. I mean, yeah, if you fail to teleport in game and it doesn't kill them, you go, what the fuck, I messed up. So it's supposed to be pretty damn nasty. It's just trying to balance it, but this... There just seems like so little of a line, because the monster is supposed to be threatening a group of players, but also not killing any of them, because it's supposed to be a medium challenge, but then if it's not even slightly challenging, it's just going to die, so it needs to have an ability that actually does something. This is tough. I'm definitely not making this a 30-foot. What? Ah. Yeah. In this circumstance, you pretty much want failed teleports down a guarantee down a player of no chance of overkill. You can't do that, unfortunately. You just can't do that. Because if the first attack downs them, the second attack follow-up on that, if it crits, and it can crit because it's a immediate close range melee attack, so it's going to have advantage and have auto crit if they down them, that's a kill attack right there. That is a kill attack. What about splitting it into 2 attacks? Oh no, splitting it into 2 attacks does that? It does, but doesn't, but does, but doesn't, but does, but doesn't. I can't really guarantee. What about full multi-attacker 3 attacks? I could split it further, but at that point I'm splitting hairs, I'll be honest. Because I also don't want to have too many dice rolls per action like this. It's just 2 failed death saves, isn't it? No, it's not just 2 failed death saves. It's if the damage isn't enough to bring them to negative their max health. So, say they're on 1 hit point. The first attack lands they're on 1 hit point out of 139. Because I think that's what we calculated for one class, wasn't it? Somewhere around there. 139. So on the first hit, we bring them to 0. It's not enough to insta-kill them, but they're now on 0. If they take 139 damage on that next hit, they die. Second one doesn't have to save. The second one will do 2 if it's a hit crit, because it will be in melee range. It's a melee attack, so it will be a crit if it hits. And it's going to hit with this amount of bonuses stacked onto it. So that will take off 2 death saves. Even if it doesn't outright kill them. But it's the outright kill bit we have to remember there. If they have 139 hit points, if I just made this damage dice as 80, the crit would just insta-kill. It just would. The crit is pretty much guaranteed here. Let's put this into any dice. See what's the chance of it hitting 139. What is the chance of this hitting 139? Output, what was it? It was 60, 12 plus 41. But we're critting it, so 12 do 12 plus 41. It's the average 119, so they're likely to survive. What's their chance of surviving? 139. Their chance of surviving... Oh, okay, that's actually fine. For 139 hit points, their chances of surviving is about 95%. That's fine. Or is it? If the first one knocks you, the second one, for a 139 hit point player, has a 5% chance of just insta-killing you. Gone. But it's challenge 15. You're in big boy leagues. So tough to call. So tough to call. Fairly sure the second one you don't even roll damage. Here we go. Book time! Oh, I don't even know where to start in the book for this one, I'll be honest. It's such a niche case, but applies in this instance very consistently. Do you roll attacks for downed creatures 5e? Sorry, do you roll damage for downed creatures 5e? With PCs reduced to 0, if unconscious, making death saving throws. Attack rolls against cost creatures advantage, and attack hits creature is critical hit. Why would they care about critical hit if it weren't for the critical hit consideration? If an unconscious character takes damage while at 0 hit points, they automatically fail. Saving throw, massive damage can still outright kill the character. PHB 197, thank you. I love it when people put their references. You're mistaken, yeah. Fair enough. Yeah, it's a very niche case because you don't expect attacks to have that much damage normally, but in this case, it's a consideration. Yeah, it's very niche. The book doesn't spend any time focusing on it, but it's there. Plays into it being Fatal Teleport. I mean, there's wording and then there's gameplay. Still got to remember the gameplay. Perhaps you can front load the first attack so the second one does less damage. I think that'll make it clunky, I'll be honest. Then you've got a gameplay concern to worry about for the DM. Figure out, okay, we're doing 1 damage, but now the next one is happening straight away, but it's less, it's different, but it's the same. Yeah. Basically, you don't want to let Ash do this. Ash is dangerous. It is still a spell, it's still very counterable, but my god, is this a dangerous spell. Like, this is horrifying spell right here. I mean, because of that, because of how strong it is, I'm actually not going to buff up the other spells. I'm not going to give more uses a smokescreen. It's too strong on its own otherwise. So let's make this, no, this is 8th level, isn't it? This feels 8th level. Which spells? We're looking at Fatal Teleport. Has a longer ranged encounter spell? It does have a longer ranged encounter spell, you're right. So, don't let Ash be out of range to use it. Don't let Ash do that. Just to say honest, it's 1 per combat attack. These kind of things are meant to hit hard, especially at this level. And yeah, it can be countered. There's spells like Shield that exist. Well, Shield's not going to do a lot here, but yeah. Also, PCs may have items to mitigate damage, or reaction abilities to have a tank intercede when someone's about to get splat. Yeah. There are things your players can do which should help to counter setup stuff. I do have a crucial element here. It can see within 90 foot. If you block line of sight for it, it can't Fatal Teleport. So yeah. But this is meant to be devastating, and it is devastating. It's just trying to find that balance between devastating and just straight up bullshit. Because at the end of the day, a DM could create a monster and say, yeah, the monster attacks you. It has a plus 30 to hit. That's higher than your AC, so it automatically hits. It deals 2,000 damage, you die. A DM could say that, and then every player at the table just gets up and leaves. We want to strike that balance where the players grip the table, but don't leave it. I'm going to do some more research on this one later, off a stream, to try and find the right balancing on this. Radio said, I don't think putting Perception of Fatal Teleport at the first introduction failed. What? I think you sent that too soon. Like I'm missing a sentence there. Prep the players for a table flip but never force their hand. Correct, Otter Odysseys. Correct, yes. Grumpy saying, I feel like being instantly down is devastating enough though, especially if it comes with 2 failed death saves a lot of the time. You're so close to dead, can only be revived if someone comes and heals you right away. It is dangerous, yeah. Cthulhu eats 1d4 adventurous per turn. Wow, that's Cthulhu for you. I have played board game Eldritch Horror with my family. They hadn't experienced a board game like that. All the board games beforehand for them were things like Monopoly and Scrabble and Frustration. So bring out this one, lots of setup and whatnot. We're going through it, and later into the game, draw out the card, reading through the stats of what happens to the lead investigator, to me, and it said such and such, such and such, such and such, you are devoured. Just that. That's live. That's the effect. You are devoured. And I'm like, what does the game mean you're devoured? Yep, out come the rules. Yep, devoured. You're dead. You just got eaten. That's it. You're gone. And they're like, what? You're just out? Yeah, I'm devoured. So some games do that, but that's a very Cthulhu thing. Yeah, that's a very Cthulhu thing. Rennie was saying, you gave Ash Master the perception skill, which improves the chances that Ash Master sees you to target with Fatal Teleport. Okay, that's more beating hiding to get it where you can spot someone who's hiding. I get where you're going there, but he is still the assassin. He's supposed to at least be able to try and get through stealth. When I say block line of sight, I don't mean hide behind a bush and hope he doesn't notice you are there. After all, you can only hide if you are sufficiently obscured. Sufficiently obscured in most cases is going to be total obscurement. Ash cannot see you. If Ash can see you, you can't hide. So perception doesn't even matter at that point. Perception isn't a total of visual acuity. It's not like a scan resolution in EVE Online or something like that. Perception is the ability to detect the hidden when it comes to combat stats. You can't hide if you are visible. So usually speaking, perception is not going to be an issue there. If anything, it just means Ash knows where you are to try and get to you. You haven't lost him. But yeah. Rampant's saying, having the ability to consistently overkill a player from outside counterspell range seems a bit much. I can see it. It's just, that's why I've been fighting over this for so long. Like, we are well over time. I should have ended the stream by now, but we'll finish up Ask Master here. But, I really need to do some more research on this stuff. Because single target is meant to be just that much stronger. Once per encounter is meant to be that much stronger. You combine the two together and you get something called Fatal Teleport. Yeah, if Resurrection's around, like, level 15 can recover. One person goes down, everyone piles on Ash. Ash explodes into a pile of bloody confetti. You turn to the person who just died and you hit them with Revivify. 3rd level spell, back they come. You just countered a 8th level Fatal Teleport, basically. That's kind of the costs built into it all, but yeah. Oh, so that should be plural. This one up here should be plural. I'm going to do some research, but I think that's a good rounding off point for the moment. 160 targeting damage. Which then leaves open the rest of the actions, which don't need to scale any higher. So this is 32 on turn 2. So 64 over the course of 2 more turns, with Shuriken thrown in around there as well, adding on quite a bit of damage. It's high. This is high. This is strong. If Ash just goes all out on one target, that target is fucked. Yeah. Just hope Ash didn't kill the cleric. Yeah. Yeah. Keep your cleric safe, guys. Keep your cleric safe. This is a spicy one. This is definitely a spicy one. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking this could be very dangerous. I mean, part of Fatal Teleport's serious danger comes from having used Smokescreen or Shuriken first. However, they're all spells, so you gotta remember, for those of you who aren't familiar with 5e spellcasting, you cannot cast a spell as an action other than a cantrip if you cast any kind of spell as a bonus action. So if the Ash casts Smokescreen or Shuriken, it cannot Fatal Teleport until next turn. It just can't. That's against the rules of the entire game. Which is something I specifically include on the first page of this to remind people, because loads of people forget that. Casting time on Warframes. It's still a thing. Anti-magic zone, can he fatal teleport into the zone? No. Because line of effect is broken on the anti-magic zone. The line of effect of the spell will reach the anti-magic zone and fail. So no. Any magic that tries to enter an anti-magic zone just stops. It breaks. It's like, imagine trying to fireball inside of an anti-magic zone. You'd fireball. It fails. You have to target just outside, which doesn't work for this because either the target's in or out of the zone. Yeah, no, this wouldn't work in an anti-magic zone. You set up anti-magic, fatal teleport, fails. Smoke screen, fails. Shuriken, fails. Can't do them. Ash at that point is just a dude with a couple daggers going, ah, no! Because you're in a nullifier zone. Ash would want to do everything he can to take out the nullifier. So I don't think I need to scale anything else any higher. It can just kind of sit where it is. Would a fail spell still count as being used? It depends, Ladybug. If you try to target someone with a spell and it fails, then yes, you've lost your spell, it's used. However, if you want to target someone with a spell, but you can't because of an anti-magic zone, you just simply can't cast it in the first place. It's not consumed. So that's a trade-off. So, say Ash uses Fatal Teleport, a wizard nearby goes, ha! Counterspell! Ash loses Fatal Teleport, it's gone. But if instead Ash wants to use Fatal Teleport, but the wizard is inside an anti-magic zone, Ash goes, well shit, I can't do that. Guess I'll just throw daggers at you. Yeah. Are we going to get a Summon Nullify spell eventually? Might need it. You're going to be fighting Ash? If you're going to be fighting Ash, prepare. Break line of sight. Smoke screen. Or whatever the smoke cloud, or whatever the ability's called. Darkness, something like that. None of these Warframes have dark vision, by the way. None of these Warframes have dark vision. This might be a weakness I should address, but they don't have dark vision, they don't have true sight. Give him a ludicrous amount of daggers? Oh yeah, that's Prime. The Prime's going to do that. Prime just goes, daggers for everyone. Backstab. Yeah. Okay, we need to wrap this one up. Let's get the stats all together here. I'm thinking this is actually kind of beginning to get to the place. The more I look at it, the more I think Fatal Teleport is bonkersly strong, but then the rest of it falls off quickly. So Ash uses that one thing, and then it's done. Then the Ash kind of wants to get the hell out of there. It needs to recharge. These aren't splitting onto rows properly. There we go. I will need to fix that on this one here as well. There we go. You're sure he only has 210 health? Oh yeah. He's a glass cannon. Challenge 15, but 210 health because I'm aiming that at challenge 14. Like, the level 15 party are going to get on top of him and hurt him. He needs to go invisible, he needs to drop your defenses, and he needs to murder you. Ashmaster in a squad of Volt Mag Excalibur? Well, I don't know what the challenge rating of that encounter is going to be, but that's going to be high. So let's figure on these hit points and whatnot. This here needs calculating. So we Constitution +2. The D8 +2 is 6.5. We're aiming for 210. 210 divided by 6.5 is 32 and a bit. 32 times 6.5 is 208. Okay, cool. There we go. 208, close enough to our aim that it is fine. 32 plus 64, there we go. For CR16 monsters making a counter CR28. I'm not sure exactly on that. You got me curious now. You got me curious. If I go back. Challenge rating 16s. Do that correctly. Drop down. 1, 2, 3, 4. It says adjusted XP will be the equivalent of 120k. Jesus Christ. And a challenge rating, you said that'll be roughly 28. 28 monster is only 90k on its own. Yeah, 4 challenge rating 16s just freshly baked croissants. Fair enough. I've never heard of all of that lot before. But okay. Ferret comes from ferretus, apparently, meaning little thief. So a group of ferrets is Thieves Guild. Ah. Fair do, fair do. Yes, the number of party members does change the encounter balance. You'll need to refer to the Dungeon Master's Guide for that. Let me grab the page for you. I know I should be finishing up, but I love answering questions, so I'm going to bring this up all the same. It's somewhere in the middle-ish of the book. Well, no, it's not. It's actually earlier. I think it's before the magic items. I am wrong. It is after the magic items. The magic items go absolutely crazy. I thought it was before them. No, it is before them. I've missed it. Not that far back. Where are you? Forms of government. Renown. Come on, Ken. You know how this book works. Where is it? Don't care about the 9 hells right now. Aha! So you can calculate the XP threshold for a difficulty of an encounter, DMG 82 onwards. There you go, DMG 82 onwards. Boom. So yeah, don't throw 4 challenge rated 16s at a party. Just don't. Just don't. Hello Silent said, what did you miss? You missed the creation of Vault Prime, Ash Initiate, Ash Adept, and most of Ash Master. I just need to finish this up. We are well over time, but I want to get this done. Saving throws. We've already given the 2, because it's supposed to be on 2 skills. 1, 2, 3. And we said here 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, that's fine. All of that is correct. Bullet Jump is correct. Dagger Mastery. Yep, that's all correct. We'll just leave that there. Shuriken, the plus, is it plus 7 to hit? It's Intelligence, which is 4, and that 9, it's plus 9 to hit. Let's fix that. There we go. Ash Shroud itself, the DC on this is going to be 17. Let's update the DC stuff here. DC 17, spell attack bonus of plus 9. There we go. So we figured the range, 90 foot, we're happy with. Needs an unoccupied space, need to be able to see it. Then makes 2 attacks, each of them plus 15 to hit because it's super enhanced. Target takes up to 80 damage, or average 80 damage, not up to average. We've got these spells, 2 for short rest, 1 for short rest. Each of these, 2 attacks. Dagger, plus 9 to hit is actually plus 11. Oh wait, this damage should go up, shouldn't it? So 9 plus 6. Yeah, it's 15, so that should go up by 1. 17. I mean, of everything else that's happening, that's not really the biggest deal. There we go, that's an Ash Master. What's the intention behind blinding characters while Ash is already invisible? So there's multiple parts to that, Grumpy Pants. Firstly, it's meant to not actually take it that much higher up, but it's still a utility. So it's meant to seem a bit weaker than it is at the start. If Ash has any other allies on the battlefield, they are not invisible. So what that does is it means they also now have a benefit against those enemies. So it's a massive ally boost rather than just for Ash himself. On top of that, if for any reason Ash is removed from his invisibility early, he still has those enemies blinded because they are separate from him, and therefore can still make use of that advantage even though he is now visible. So it's multiple effects coming together there, so that in itself, if everything is going swimmingly, solo, it doesn't matter. But if things are going wrong, or if he's in a group, he's still got some benefits from it. That's the reason on that one. As for the why that's included at all, that comes from the ability in Warframe itself, where it basically just kind of stuns the enemies and opens them up for finishers. Making them blinded kind of does half the same thing in D&D sense. So it's close enough to the same. But yeah, that's the rundown on that one. Have I missed anything, chat? We got the armor, we got the hit points, we got the speed, we got the stats, we got the abilities, we got the attacks. I'm not giving him any bonus action attacks because the only time he would cast a spell as an action is a Fatal Teleport, which is doing damage, so he definitely doesn't need any bonus actions there. Yeah, I think we're good. I think that is a completed Ash Master, and that is therefore where we're going to wrap it up. We've done 4 Warframes today. 3 of Ash, 1 of Vault. Is teleport damage overriding the dagger damage? Yes, it is. Which is why it expressly says here, immediately after teleporting, Ash may make 2 attacks against a target or object. Target object or creature with its dagger enhanced by... I should probably just take out the dagger bit, shouldn't I? As much as it's enhanced by the spell, I should just take out the dagger and stop confusing it. Ash may make 2... yeah, and that's melee spell attacks now. Ash may make 2 attacks against a target object or creature. Striking with a magical blade. We'll just go with that. Makes attacks doing X damage? No, we need to have the attack roll. We need the attack roll. Melee spell attack, plus 50 to hit. On hit, target takes 80 damage. And specifying it's a melee spell attack, that changes things a bit, but yeah, that all works. Also, this should be capitalized. But yeah, that clears up the confusion that Rainover's calling out there. It's not a dagger, it is a magical blade from the spell itself. It's just a spell doing it. Ash is basically teleported behind him, going shink shink with magical blades from the spell. That's clear. Any other complaints, chat? Comments, concerns, queries, or otherwise on what we've got here? I've gone through one mug of tea. Another one that was handed to me has started going cold. Brother Oni? Nani? Yes, this means Ash can still use them even if you manage to disarm him. True, there is that, yep. Ash is disarmed, it's like, ha! You thought that was the only way I could hurt you? Very much. that's going straight up anime villain, isn't it? Push his glass upon his nose. You thought I needed the daggers to kill you. But my teleport jutsu is beyond your comprehension. Nothing personal. Is this something we're going to be doing regularly? This is something I've done for the last 3 weeks based on votes over in the Supporter Tea Lounge. If you are a subscriber on Twitch here, or if you are a member on YouTube, or if you are a supporter on Patreon, we've got a new person join on that actually just earlier today, then you get access to the Supporter Tea Lounge, and that includes, on top of priority responses there on the Discord, you also get the ability to vote on what is upcoming on the Friday streams, if there is a vote going for it. Sometimes I just override it, you know. Sometimes I just gotta do something. But yeah. New friend indeed, ready over. Their latest subjoin on the Discord. Let me see, who was that? That was that was Cordy. Yeah, Cordy joined up on the Patreon. Thank you very much, Cordy. I don't know if you're hearing this, you're probably not, but thank you. But yeah, so for the last 3 weeks, it's been overwhelmingly voted for. As soon as I made this an option, the support has been going, yes, we want this. And until that changes, that's where I'll continue. But now I am massively over time. It is nearly past, and I was supposed to be done half hour ago. I'm hopefully not pissing off the others in the household at this point. So if you want to see more of this, you're just going to have to catch it as of when I put it out on the Supporter Tea Lounge and vote for it. Or if you're not in there, hope that everyone else does vote for it. With that, I know that I didn't put out the document last week because I hadn't done it Vault Prime. I just did not have the time throughout this week. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this document out onto the Discord as is. Probably sometime tomorrow. I'll put that out onto the Discord as is. Available for everyone. You don't need to be a supporter to reach that. So if you want to try these out in your own games, let me know how it goes. I'd be very interested to see how that goes. But we are definitely done for today. So if you want to see more of this stream, you're just going to have to join me on Sunday. And if you do enjoy this stream, consider hitting that subscribe button. Or if you're already a subscriber, consider hitting the gift button. Let me know just how much you enjoy this stream. But that is where we're going to wrap it up, guys. So thank you very, very much for joining in. Thank you especially for all the helping hands. For those of you who do know about D&D, the assistants are everything from XP to wording to finding that one specific monster. Those angels with their angelic weapons, really do appreciate their help on that. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.